What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast pregame show. Pregame presented by John Breech Palooza. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host, John Breech. Joining me, we should actually get the pregame sponsored by somebody. Breech, what's up? What a day of football.
I mean, right now, the best sponsor would probably be Shots of Vodka because that's the only way anyone could possibly understand what the hell happened today in the NFL. I mean, I have never felt more like we always talk about parity, but you don't usually see it that often. It doesn't play out every week, but this week it was just, I mean, if freaking Jacksonville's winning, you know things are crazy.
So the week that I went like 2 and whatever,
right?
This is what I was expecting. Like I put this down, and of course, like I think I went probably like 6 and 7 or something going into Monday Night Football. But yeah, I mean, there's always a chaos week. There's always going to be a chaos week. The NFL football never, ever, ever, ever is going to just be, like we've seen baseball gets like this, where the top teams just slaughter the bottom teams. And maybe sometimes at the end of the year, it gets like that, where teams have given up, and you can look at teams in football and say, all right, this team's mailing it in and all that. But we'll note here. And of course, we will get the pregame show. This is the pregame. When Wilson shows up, Brinson. When Wilson shows up, leave your handle, Twitter handle or YouTube handle.
Go Twitter if you have Twitter, but I'll take Instagram.
Some kind of handle and in the method for delivering that handle
but don't leave a handle of Jack Daniels. I don't need that right now.
That's right. Also hit the like button, but leave your handle and be like at Bozo Benson -Twitter. And if you leave your handle in the YouTube comment section before Ryan Wilson shows up, you will be entered for the next 2 times when we give something away.
Well, let me just
why don't you explain the contest rules to me?
They'll get 2 entries in the $100 Paramount Plus gift card giveaway that we're doing tonight. 2 entries, greater chance to win.
What do we have to get to tonight? What's our number? We're
giving it away tonight. We're getting to 150 likes, but we are giving this thing away.
All right, we'd love to get to 150 likes. If you happen upon the page, hit the like button. Smash the like button. I'm gonna go smash it right now. Breech, go hit the like button. To pad the stats, baby.
I'm gonna hit it. I hit it every week.
I do too.
How could I not hit the like button?
Oh man, we're off to a roaring start. Look, if you got, let's get the like numbers up to the same numbers on in the chat. Tell your friends. We'll tweet it out, of course. Wilson will be here shortly, but if you leave your handle, you get 2 entries, twice as many chances to win. It's called math, people. There you go. People are doing a good job. So what, pay Debo shirt? Debo gets paid handsomely. Do you get paid handsomely, Debo, or just
not enough to work with you?
Whoa!
Oh, hit it twice. Oh, look, yeah, it's a BOGO evening. Let's see. John, I'm going to tweet out link real quick. Hold on. Talk about the Bengals or something, Breech, while I tell you. Ask questions if you got them in the chat.
We'll drop some questions in the chat. We'll have plenty of time to talk Bengals. I don't want to waste the Breech Bengals energy before the show actually starts.
Good point.
We don't want to start the podcast with me crying because you made me talk about the Bengals for 10 minutes, Brinson. That was the worst idea I've ever heard in my life.
Well, look, you know what? You guys are 5. We'll talk about this again. We'll talk about the podcast, but you guys are 5-4. You would have signed for that in a heartbeat. It just got there in a weird way.
Very weird way.
Right. Like, did you lose to the Jets last week? They got smoked by the Browns. Oh, that's crazy.
Maybe. It's none of your business.
Yeah, seriously, that's a good question. What do the Bears win by tomorrow, Breech?
-8 points.
I mean, you don't think they're going to win based on what we just saw today?
I do not. I think the upsets end per day. We didn't see an upset on Thursday night. Sunday gets crazy, and then things reset on Monday. Awesome. That's how this works here. So I do not think. And also, Mike Tomlin's going to be preaching that all day tomorrow. Look, you saw that football. You saw that football on Sunday. Anybody can lose on any given day. No, we are not losing the Chicago Bears team. They're not good. We're going to beat them by 20. That's what Mike Tomlin's going to tell his team.
Oh, this is a good question from Doge Jesus, which I actually didn't realize I had some Dogecoin left over. So I got 26 cents. Not too bad. But yeah, I think Tom Brady might be the MVP favorite, except they also lost last week to the Saints. And if the Saints had closed out the Falcons, the Saints would be tied with the Bucs in the division. It's a wide open. We need to look and see what those odds are on. I was thinking about this earlier. It's a great question.
I'm not going to try to take this in a crazy direction or get off the rails.
Not
but
Jalen Hurts. Don't say it, Devo.
I think today the loss proved that how valuable Aaron Rodgers is to the Packers. There is
great point.
Zero chance that Aaron Rodgers wins. He can run the table, throw 4 touchdowns a game, and I don't think the media is going to give it to Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't. Well,
it's not happening.
Is there any particular reason you don't think the media will give it to Aaron Rodgers?
Like I said, events of the past week, the media
the past 48 hours or the past week
will not give it to Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, look. We talked about this before the season with respect to Lamar Jackson and Kirk Cousins and how it's not a COVID take, it's not a vaccine take, it's not a political take. It is simply you're betting on football, and you have to take into account all the different factors. Like if you bet on the Packers win total, and I mean, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers could have missed a game anyway, because we saw Devontae Adams wouldn't even clear till later last week, and he was vaccinated. But the point being is that if you bet on the Packers win total, you may have just lost a win. Now they're probably going to get over it anyway, and they're probably going to win the division. It's not a big deal. But you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, and we just know that the MVP is very much a media award. As 100%. Much as it is on-field accomplishments, there's a lot of narrative, not even Rodgers related, but going back to guys that probably should win it in back-to-back years, but aren't afforded that opportunity because you want to give it to someone new.
The media doesn't like to give it to somebody. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Keep going, dude.
No, I mean, your favorite sport, the NBA, LeBron should have way more than he hasn't won an MVP since 2013. Should not be the case.
Should we give it to Ryan Tannehill?
I don't hate it. Let me get those odds up.
No, I don't think it should be. You know what, though? It is everybody cratered today except for Brady because he didn't play. And you look at
Brady is 3.5 to 1 now.
Well, the thing is that, like, here's the thing, and we'll talk about this later with the Packers. So I don't want to go into it too much right now, but like, teams have proven they could win this year with backup quarterbacks. We saw Cooper Rush win. We saw Colt McCoy win. The Packers threw their quarterback in, who was a first-round pick who has been in the system for a year and a half, and he fell flat on his face. So
scroll down a little bit, and you'll see that Cooper Kupp is actually the first non-quarterback listed at 150 to 1. I would posit that anybody behind Cooper Kupp is probably is it so wide open that somebody could storm through here? A quarterback who's deep. I'm thinking about, but man,
see who's right there, Breech. See who's just hanging out right there, Breech.
Jalen Hurts. I see him.
No, I mean, I see someone.
Oh, I know. You don't think I'm betting on the Colts to win the Super Bowl, buddy?
Baker?
Nah.
Revenge story?
Yeah.
No, to answer your question, no.
Yeah. So, and look, this is what the sports books do for any sporting event, right? Anytime you're betting on, like, the Super Bowl odds are probably fairly similar. They've concentrated all of these guys who are. It's basically the race is down to. I mean, I guess you can't include Mahomes, right? Burrow, Derek Carr.
You cannot include Mahomes.
I'll tell you this. Derek Carr, and they just lost too, which is annoying. If they beat the Giants, Derek Carr. Actually, wait, Ryan Tannehill at 70. Ooh, Ryan Tannehill at 75 to 1 is worth a stab.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think Tannehill, besides Brady,
and I didn't probably say Tannehill. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's how this whole thing started, Brinson.
I don't think Derek Carr's out of the mix.
If I were taking a stab on any of the flyers, it would be Carr, Tannehill. I don't think Burrow's crazy. I don't think he's going to win, but they're 5-4. They can still win the division. I think Breech's division winning thing is important here. The other thing on Mahomes is, again, like, all these good teams lost. The Chiefs didn't look great, but they won, and we got half a season left. You can win this. You can win the MVP in 6 games, 4 games, 8 games. If Mahomes went 8 games nuclear, somehow just flipped it after that last drive, the media would be, the 50 voters would love to give it to him.
The reason I think Tannehill is now intriguing is because they just won without Derrick Henry.
Of course.
And they got all their difficult games out of the way. They just played the stretch of Buffalo, Kansas City, Indianapolis, Rams. Those are, I mean, there were probably people that thought they were going to go 1-3 or 2-2 in that stretch. And they went 4-0. And then you look at the rest of their schedule. They still have to play the Texans twice. They still have to play the Dolphins. They still have to play Jacksonville. They have San Francisco. A lot of very winnable games where Tannehill could put up some impressive numbers. Although I don't think he's been super impressive all season because Derrick Henry's obviously been carrying the load there. But he's played well enough that he can rise to the top if he plays well down the stretch.
I don't think that's crazy. Just looking real quick, and I saw someone in chat mention that there's no chance that that Patrick Mahomes can win the award. I would point out that I believe in 2014, what did the Green Bay Packers fall to? What did 2014 when Aaron Rodgers said relax?
Oh yeah, when he spelled it out at that pros. Was it
who they lost to? They lost to the Saints. That was the Broncos. Why did I think?
Yeah, they were 1-2. I just remember they
lost to the Seahawks. They beat the Jets. They lost to the Lions. They're 1-2. Is that when he said it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because maybe that's different then because that's not 8 games into the season. But Aaron Rodgers at that point said, "Relax, everybody, chill the f out," and he won MVP that year. Now
it was that week. It was after that loss to the Lions.
Again, I'm not saying that I don't think the Chiefs look like a great team at all. I mean, I think they're a problem. But Patrick Mahomes has the weapons. He has the coaching staff. They are within striking distance of winning the division.
But that was after 3 games in 2014 where Rodgers was like, yeah, the talent's here and I know it. We haven't heard Patrick Mahomes say, hey, we're going to flip the switch here and start putting up 40 points a game. It seems like everybody in Kansas City is a little concerned.
No. There's a reason he's 40-1. I don't think it's like a good bet per se. I think it's a long shot. They haven't had their bye. They have the the Raiders, because they beat the Packers, obviously, and got lucky with Rodgers. They have the Raiders on the road, Monday Night Football, or Sunday Night Football. Cowboys, bye, Broncos, Raiders, at Chargers, Steelers, at Bengals, at Broncos. I'm just saying if Mahomes spent the next, 9 weeks? He's got 9 weeks. If he was nuclear for 9 weeks, he could steal the MVP.
If you had to bet $100 on it now and you had to put it on either Ryan Tannehill or Patrick Mahomes, who would you bet on? Those are the only 2 options.
That's a good question. Let me see who the Titans have left.
What about Dak?
9-1, I don't hate.
I just told you some of the Titans. They have the Dolphins, the Texans twice, in Jacksonville. That's 4 there.
They haven't had their bye either. I mean, if the Titans get the number 1 seed without Derrick Henry, isn't Ryan Tannehill just winning it? Like if they're the number 1 seed and unless it's like all Adrian Peterson and defense, I mean, then obviously that won't happen. But I mean, if they get the number 1 seed and they are in really good shape to do it,
let's just forget it. Brady's winning it. I don't know why we're having this conversation.
They're 7-2 now.
7-2.
They're in really good shape to get the 1 seed.
They are in great shape.
19-20. The problem is I don't know that he's going to have the volume, production, and the stats to win it in that Titans offense. Which, I mean, they didn't run the ball a ton. They weren't successful running it, but I guess he did have a rushing touchdown too.
They have 5 of their next 7 games at home.
Man, I'll tell you this: I'm going to bet Patrick Mahomes and bet Ryan Tannehill, and maybe think about betting Derek Carr.
You know what bet I don't feel good about? Your Zach Taylor Coach of the Year bet.
Yeah, me either. Don't feel good about that. What is do we have is Coach of the Year up on Caesars? Any other questions?
I mean, Mike Vrabel. It's got to be Mike Vrabel right now.
That's a good one, man.
I think it's him or Cliff Kingsbury.
Coach is not up right now.
Yeah, they usually won't put that up till Monday after.
I think those are the only 2 options at this point. Either go with Vrabel or Kingsbury.
Yeah, Sean Payton lost today. That's unfortunate.
I give Kingsbury a little more credit than I would have say last week because they just won a game with Colt freaking McCoy. And then obviously what Vrabel's done has been nothing short of amazing.
The Titans thing is interesting because if Vrabel gets the 1 seed with no Derrick Henry, he's going to get heavy Coach of the Year buzz.
I think it's a lock if that's the case.
Right?
Oh, that's a lock.
Tannehill, you could see them going somewhere else with MVP if Brady keeps going nuts. Lamar Jackson could still steal this thing.
Dak Prescott could steal MVP.
Sure, of course.
The Daxter, the Dak man.
Mike McCarthy, Coach of the Year?
No.
No, it's not implausible.
And also fired after a playoff debacle.
The first Coach of the Year to ever be
Michael
fired.
Lucky didn't win, did he? when he got fired after that. Yeah, I'm betting Ryan. I'm betting. So for those of you who follow our lead on future bets, Tannehill 75-1 is absolutely a bet. That should be like at worst 40-1. Derek Carr probably a FOMO sprinkle just in case he wins it. I can't handle myself. And a principal bet on Mahomes at 40-1.
40-1 for Mahomes.
You'll never see that again.
Hey, maybe they get Odell. You never know.
I don't want him to get Odell. Odell appears to be someone. I mean, because the Browns. I don't know if you know this. They got rid of Odell. So a couple trends to look at here. 1, 4 teams: Denver, Jacksonville, KC, and the Giants. Each entered Week 9 with a 500 or below winning percentage and defeated a team that began today in first place in their division. The first time since December 18th, 2011, that 4 teams with a 500 below record entering Week 9 or later each defeated a division leader on the same day. I mean, like not a historic day, but a really rare day in terms of upsets. I'm done as Survivor. I had all Dallas. People had the Bills, Dallas. The Ravens bailed you out a little bit, but barely. It's over. See, my pool might be done. I didn't even look.
What you drinking?
I am drinking ranch water. Can't see it. It's in a master's cup here, but the cup's sweat, so I put a koozie on it. So some Cazadores maybe and Topo Chico.
Nice. Breech, what you drinking?
Tasty old water.
Nobody believes that.
Nashville special.
What's in Breech's water bottle? Comment in the chat.
Wow. There are 4 Survivor. There were 100 people total in my Survivor League. There were 4 left. 2 took the Colts. 2 took the Dolphins. That's the Dolphins actually smart. Why did I do that? And
yeah, those people outsmarted you, Brinson.
And 2 have the Steelers. I guess 6 left technically. But Saints down. Rams down. Bills down. Cowboys down. Crazy. One other thing to talk about as we wait for Wilson to get here. We'll start. If you guys want to, my YouTube chat's not refreshing. Drop before Wilson's not here yet. So if you're in the YouTube, couple things. If you're watching on YouTube live, hit the like button so we can get the likes up. Likes help. If we get to a certain amount of likes, we are going to give away a Paramount Plus gift card for $100. My dad and my parents are in town today for the 1:00 games, which makes watching them really difficult. But love you, Mom and Dad. But my dad's like, you got that Paramount Plus hookup? Yeah, I feel like it's okay to give him my login, right?
I wouldn't be bragging about that on the
I didn't say
CBS podcast.
I was asking, can I give it to him?
I am not here to dispense legal advice. Do I look like a lawyer for our company?
No, you look like a homeless person. Anyway, but Paramount Plus is awesome. You can watch all the early episodes, all the early seasons of Yellowstone. The new season came out tonight at like 8:00. You watch on like CMT and the Paramount Network or something. It'll be on Paramount Plus later. You can watch local football on it. So you can watch your market games on Paramount Plus. And there's other stuff too, right? I'm just kidding. Paramount Plus is really awesome. Champions League. We have what's the show? Wings that Wilson loves.
And an all-time classic that actually.
Oh, is Yellowstone on Peacock? And I'm dead wrong. And we don't have Yellowstone. My dad asked me for Paramount for Yellowstone.
It's got plenty of other stuff.
Okay, not Yellowstone. Whoops. All right, ignore that. Sorry.
It's got 24 seasons of the greatest TV show ever made, The Challenge, if you're into that.
What is wrong? Why did my dad ask me for that? I just assumed it was right. I've never watched Yellowstone.
You can watch college football, college hoops starting this week. College hoops coming to Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah, college hoops is coming. Just don't clip that one for the network.
Brinson, you got confused because it's on Paramount Network.
That's
which is also part of the company, so don't feel completely foolish.
We have some hand in Yellowstone, then, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, my dad's sorely disappointed when he logs into Paramount Plus.
Good thing
when he buys it. Anyway, Paramount Plus is great. I watch it for Champions League all the time. My wife actually uses Paramount Plus a ton. She watches RuPaul's Drag Race, and so you can get $100 gift card for Paramount Plus. That's at what, 18 months or something like that?
minimum.
Yeah, it's a ton of Paramount Plus. So if you want to be eligible for that, leave a handle in the chat. And if it's Twitter, you just know where it's from. Like if it's, I don't know, if it's like Twitter or Snapchat or whatever it is. So Debo can get in touch with you. Yes, Paramount has Star Trek. There you go. Great call. Lower Decks, also tons of stuff. Duke basketball. Love Duke basketball. Serie A.
You're such a noob.
Whatever, sussy baka. How sussy? I thought I was cutting the cord going to YouTube TV. I got to spend more money on TV than I did before. Hawaii 5-0. There you go. Not Drag Race. Drag Race is definitely on there. Trust me. I haven't watched a lot of my house. All right. Do you guys want to hit the like button? Smash that like button. Leave your handle in the chat. Keep doing it. Wilson will be here in a minute. If you leave your handle in the chat before Wilson gets here, you get 2 entries to win the Paramount Plus $100 gift card. So fire that up. Wasting their time. What are people talking about?
2.
All right. You ready to do the show, Breech? Wilson.
Are we just forgetting about Wilson?
He'll join us. We don't have the Steelers to talk about off the top, so we're good.
What if he doesn't show up?
Paw Patrol the movies on there?
We'll send Paw Patrol out on a manhunt to find Wilson. Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol.
Be there on the double.
Oh, my God. We are lame.
Yeah, we are quite lame. I was like getting pumped. NC State threw touchdown passes to a guy named Tootle on Saturday against Florida State. I was like, oh, Toodles.
Oh, God.
That's I am. I know, right? All right.
I just learned about Toodles in the past, 3 weeks.
Oh, you're in hell. Welcome to hell. Welcome to Tootle.
My God.
All right. Let's do the podcast. Hit the like button. We're finding the podcast now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host. It is Monday, November 8th. We are live on YouTube as we are after every single prime time game. We recap. We go live and recap Monday Night Football, Tuesday Night Football, and we recap the entire week after Sunday Night Football. In fact, we just got done doing a YouTube exclusive 20-some minute pregame chat. You can join us for that if you want. So pop on in and you can do that. The way to do that, the best way to do that is to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel and hit the alert button right next to it. You'll get alerts when we go live. And while you're in there, hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube, whether it's live or later. Come join us, comment in there. People are basically thrashing me in the chat. It's very distracting and quite lovely and nice of them. John Breech joining me right now. Ryan Wilson will be here in a second. Breech, what's up, buddy?
Brinson, you know what's up. I'm doing what I do every Sunday night and eating peanut butter cups and drinking mouthwash because that's what I treat myself as a punishment after a Bengals loss. But we don't need to talk about that right now. We just don't need to talk about it.
That's a disgusting combination. But first of all, Reese's peanut butter cups are delicious.
They are delicious.
We are also giving away a $100 gift card. Did I say Tuesday Night Football? God.
You might have.
In my defense, about this time last year, we had a Tuesday Night Football game. And it involved the Titans who just played Sunday Night
Brinson is having flashbacks to last year.
Yeah, sort of continuous flashbacks. We are giving away a $100 Paramount Plus gift card in the YouTube chat. You can watch NFL on there on Sundays. We have tons of great original programming in there as well. Star Trek, amongst other popular items. What do you love on Paramount Plus, Breech? What are your favorite shows?
I love that all SpongeBob is on there.
That is true too. You can
Which
watch.
sounds kind of lame, but that's what I watch when I'm bored.
You can watch The Challenge. You can watch. I just went to my Paramount Plus homepage. It's just
Star Trek.
Keep watching. Oh, you can actually. You know what? Paramount Plus is the only place you can watch all the Comedy Central roast in their full. Like they're not even on YouTube, so you can watch the Comedy Central roast of Bob Saget. If you want to watch Champions League, that's the only place you can watch all the Champions League games. They are fantastic. SEAL Team now out. Serie A is in there. CONCACAF. Fantasy Football Today you can watch on there. What do you like watching? Double Dare? Good
Oh,
Lord.
I love Double Dare.
Love Double Dare.
I'm such a Double Dare fan.
Debo, you're Mean Girls is on here? Nice. I love Mean Girls. Debo, you're lingering in the background. What do you like to watch on Paramount Plus?
I mean, like I said, The Challenge, I think it's probably a better sport than hockey.
Ooh. Oh! Savage dunk on ESPN.
Jersey Shore. Just give me everything from MTV from like 2005 to 2016, and I'm there. And Paramount Plus has pretty much everything.
It's a mountain of entertainment, almost. Some would say. Keep hitting the like button. We're actually almost there. We're getting kind of close to be able to give away this thing. And leave your handle in the YouTube chat if you want to win $100. That's like 18 plus months of Paramount Plus. Hit the like button. Leave your handle in the chat. With Inside the NFL, you can watch on there. Tons of stuff. So much.
Addams Family. That was the last movie I watched on Paramount Plus before Halloween.
Right.
Last week.
That's right. Good call.
I was racking my brain to think about it. I finally figured it out.
Great catch on that one, Breech. All right, we got football to talk about. The Titans and the Rams played a football game on Sunday night, and it went the opposite way that you thought it would.
And what a twist. They're owned by the Addams family. Amy Adams.
Oh, that is a good call.
Yeah.
Would be a better segue. Yeah, we don't know where Wilson is, by the way. He'll be here shortly. The Titans have now beaten consecutively the Bills, Chiefs, Colts, and Rams. And they won on Sunday night without Derrick Henry, and they won it away, Breech. And I don't think most people look at the Titans and expect them to win. In other words, they won with defense. Mike Vrabel and his coaching staff completely outcoached, outclassed, de-pantsed Sean McVay. Ryan Tannehill, 19 of 27, 143 yards, a touch, and an interception. I mean, nothing special. A.J. Brown, 5 catches, 42 yards. Greg Swaim had a touchdown. Tannehill ran for one. Dante Foreman and Jeremy McNichols and Adrian Peterson cobbled together 22 carries for like 75 yards or something. Nothing special. AP, AD all day got into the end zone. But it was the story of the defense. Jeffrey Simmons played out of his mind with his hair on fire, just clown as the late great Chris Wessling liked to say. He put dudes in a clown suit, walking them back into the quarterback. Kevin Byard had a pick 6. He said after the game, he's like, I wasn't even supposed to be there. I was just sort of like out of my head, feeling everything. Incredible effort by the Titans defense in this game. 28-16 was the final. Titans moved to 7-2. Rams fall to 7-2. Both teams still in good position for the playoffs, but a statement win coming off the Derrick Henry injury.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the 4th straight statement win. It seems like the Titans have a statement win every single week. And the crazy thing is, you mentioned it, you really hit the nail on the head by talking about their defense. Because of Derrick Henry and because of play action, how well Ryan Tannehill usually plays when Derrick Henry's back there, I feel like the Titans defense gets overlooked. And the defense was so bad last year that I didn't think people thought it was possible that they could improve this much, because we spent a lot of time this year talking about how much the Cowboys defense has improved. Well, I think the Titans defense was almost as bad as Dallas's last year. And I think they've improved even more than Dallas's had this year. I mean, the defense carried them to this win. Sure, it helped that Matthew Stafford made the most boneheaded pick 6 of all time, tied with Carson Wentz from week 8, both against the Titans, by the way. So I don't know if it's the Titans just willing these people, because the Byard pick 6, Stafford got tackled about the 1-inch line and then decided he didn't want to go down, threw the ball when he absolutely shouldn't have. Just get tackled, 4th down at the 1-inch line, punt it. And that was it. And then it just felt like the game was over. After those 2 interceptions, the Titans were up 14-3. It did not feel like there was any way the Rams were going to come back. And we talk about the feel of the game a lot. And, we all know that the Rams have a high-powered offense and they can score from anywhere on the field, but they just could not do anything. Their offensive line looked completely overmatched. And the funny thing was the first half, they kept cutting to Sean McVay on the sideline every time Matthew Stafford did something dumb. And it was just like the same faces you would see when Jared Goff was his quarterback. Just like, what are they doing out there? This guy, it's like he didn't practice a minute of football this week. So it was surprising to see Matthew Stafford play badly. But when you combine that with how well the Titans played defensively, that was just the Rams crash and burn, and the Titans walked out of there with a win.
Now joining us from
Yay!
his Bud Bowl sweatshirt. He even actually did go get changed out. Good for you. Good for you, Wilson.
The Bud Bowl.
The one, the only Ryan Wilson joining us from Stamford, Connecticut in the luxurious Palisades podcast room up there in Connecticut. What's up, buddy?
The David P. Sampson podcast.
Memorial podcast room.
No, he's still kicking.
I know.
Breech, has anyone brought up the Hall of Fame candidacy with Matthew Stafford yet?
No, but the people are asking why you kept trashing the Titans, and will you admit that you were wrong?
When did I trash the Titans?
I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, so
Brinson was quickly trying to change the subject from Matthew Stafford's Hall of Fame candidacy.
Look,
are you off the bandwagon, Brinson?
No, of course not. We had a bunch of bad games from good quarterbacks on Sunday. It was a crazy week. I'm not sweating. Stafford's right there. He's like 5-1 to an MVP. I'm not worried about it. I will say, so someone in chat pointed out, one, that Danico Autry was a great free agent signing. 100%. The Titans defense looked awesome on Sunday. They've looked better than they did last year, and they've gotten better as the season's gone along. I don't think they've been great by any stretch of the imagination, but they were absolutely elite on Sunday night.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Danico Autry had a sack and a half. Harold Landry got that other half sack in the second half. 3 by Jeffrey Simmons. Bud Dupree was harassing people. And you may know off the top of your head, Breech, I don't remember, but they had something like 4 sacks last year. So I think it was closer to maybe 19. It was something like that. It was insanely low. That's something they had to fix. That's something they addressed in the offseason. And, teams address their needs in the offseason to varying degrees. It doesn't always work out this well. And I think no one would disagree that their biggest issue last year was their doo-doo defense.
Yeah, they got no pressure on quarterback.
They had a doo-doo offense today, in part because Derrick Henry wasn't there, in part because the Rams aren't terrible on defense as well. And their defense carried them, which is something you would never say last year. And the funniest thing about the Titans, if I talked the Titans earlier, I apologize because I'm fully invested in them now. The funniest thing you say about the Titans, they lost to the Jets.
Yeah, good point.
Hey, sometimes good teams lose to the Jets. I'm also fully invested in the Titans.
Oh, boy.
Look at my Titans mini helmet, everyone. I'm on board.
I mean, so here the Titans season is blown out by the Cardinals, beat Seahawks in overtime, beat Colts, lose to the Jets.
What?
Kind of had a little bit of a back and forth with the Jaguars for blowing them out, and then promptly beat Bills, beat Chiefs, beat Colts in overtime, beat Rams, and the last 2 games are on the road. The Titans are, I don't know, the percentages are well above 90 on them winning the division at this point.
I think they have at least 5 wins against playoff teams. You can count the Colts twice if you want from last year. I think that's right.
Yeah. I mean, Bills, Colts twice, Chiefs, Rams,
6.
Seahawks, and Cardinals. The Cardinals didn't go last year, but look like a very good bet to go this year.
6 if you count the Colts twice.
Yeah, okay. So they've beaten 6 playoff teams.
They've won all these hard to win games and lost the Jets. It's really bizarre. Coming up, they have the Saints, the Texans, at the Patriots, and before their bye. I mean, they should win
13 games.
Well, no, I would say that I think it's reasonable to suggest they split with the Saints and the Patriots, and they could definitely beat both of them. Don't get me wrong. They'll beat the Texans. So you're probably 2-1 going to the bye, which means you're 9-3 with Jacksonville and the Dolphins and the Texans and the sorry ass 49ers left on your schedule.
Oh, there he is.
I thought you'd like
Here's the thing about look, we all agree that people get mad, but I think they're probably going to win the division. I think that's safe to say. They sort of need to get the number 1 seed because, as we know, there's only one bye. Because if Derrick Henry needs that extra week,
yeah,
because he's got to drag people up and down the field all January and hopefully February, and that's the best way to do that.
Prisco, I asked earlier if Prisco thought Derrick Henry could come back. He said no, very quickly, which is surprising. I I was sort of the impression it's an 8-week thing. His season is over, but he could be back for the playoffs. I think they need him to win the AFC.
Well, I think the deal with that is that he's got the Jones fracture, and as Dubin, our boy Jared Dubin was mentioning earlier tonight, is that injury gave Julio Jones trouble. He's off and on. He just never fully recovered from it because he tried and get back too quickly. That's the same injury that basically ended Des Bryant's career. So it needs to heal, especially with a running back who's going to be on his feet all the time. You cannot send him back. You can't risk sending him out too early and having him return too early. So it's going to be a touchy situation if the Titans make the playoffs. And that's probably what Prisco's talking about, because you can't risk it. You've got to say he's 100% healthy. We can put him out there.
Hey, no risk it.
No biscuit.
No biscuit. How about no
Titans
biscuit?
are minus 2,500 to win the division. 6-1 to win the AFC and 12-1 to win the Super Bowl.
The Titans are winning the division.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that bet that we made before the Julio Jones trade. We talked about at length on this podcast, as it was insane, and the Colts have outperformed. Whatever. The Titans have the ability to get pressure on the interior and on the edge, which is just something they didn't have last year. As Wilson, I think, pointed out, credit to them for addressing it. I will say, and I'm not trying to denigrate the defensive abilities tonight, but man, I mean, what a terrible coaching job by Sean McVay. I mean, I saw it, and Chris Collinsworth saw it, that dropping Matthew Stafford straight back and trying to operate without moving the pocket or getting him on bootlegs was just playing into the Titans' hands. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons was walking guys back into Matthew Stafford. He was getting sacked. He was under pressure. He threw 2 abysmal picks.
Well, and it was weird because it was like McVay watched film of last year's Titans defense. Like someone switched his film, because why would you base half your game plan about something that feeds right into what the Titans do well and then refuse to switch it? I mean, eventually he started rolling Stafford out, but it still wasn't enough. He went back to his bread and butter, and his bread was moldy and his butter was old, and nothing was working. So I don't know why. It didn't make any sense. It was like McVay outsmarted himself.
And he also he adjusted at halftime, and it was kind of working, but it was too late because they were pressing and they were down. Why did he adjust in the first half?
I don't know. I mean, Higbee, they got unlucky with the Higbee touchdown. That wasn't because his toenail was out of bounds, and maybe that changed the tenor thing.
Should have clipped his toenails before the game.
Should have clipped his toenails. Maybe, Stafford had only been sacked 7 times coming into the game, and maybe he thought, well, this will sort itself out, and clearly it didn't sort itself out. By the way, the biggest loser, I know Diva likes to do this at the end, but I'm doing it now, so we can get out 30
Don't
seconds
steal
early.
mine.
Von Miller. His team won. His whole team won. His new team.
And they told him, they're like, Von's trade is a wake-up call.
He's standing over there trying to drink the coffee, and he's like, oh, what have I done?
I sort of think a better game plan from McVay changes not changes the outcome of the game, but 14 of the Titans' points were a pick 6 from Kevin Byard, and then the near pick 6 that was an eventual was that the Tannehill boot? The Swain touchdown.
Right, it went to the 2-yard line.
Yeah. Look, the Titans are the better team tonight. No problem.
They might be the better team any night.
Maybe.
I think they're the best team in the AFC.
They are, and they came into the week number 1, and they remain number 1. And the team that's number 2, the Ravens, we'll talk about it. They didn't actually blow the doors off anybody today. They played a team that likes to lose.
The AFC is wide open.
Wide.
Why? I mean, look, the Titans may very well be the best team, but the Titans, Ravens, we don't know that the Chiefs are going to make it. The Chargers.
Before you keep going, let me give you a visual representation. So if you're watching YouTube, you can guess as well in the comments. What team is this?
I don't know what's happening.
A team that's cratering?
A team that starts the season red hot, and then they hit a couple games, and then they go.
The Texans?
Oh, the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Texans are the number 1 team in the AFC. I was like, it's just, I blindly assumed you were coming after me, so I wasn't thinking.
Oh no, I was doing
making fun of a team with a winning record after 9 weeks. That's
they
insanity.
are currently ranked 9th in the AFC.
I thought you were talking about the Texans because they started 1-0 and then lost 8 straight.
I don't think I would want to bet the Titans 6-1 to win the AFC because I think that's a little short. But as we were talking about before you came on, Wilson, the MVP and the odds to win these divisions is starting to really condense around although what would you guess, Wilson, that we talked about? Again, you can hang out with us in the pregame. Hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. We're giving away $100 Paramount Plus gift card. Wilson, what would you guess the odds are for Ryan Tannehill to win MVP right now?
I mean, it should not be south of 25-1.
Would you bet? Would you be interested in betting 75-1 on Caesars?
Very much so.
Yeah, right. 75-1. That's a bet.
Here's the thing, though. He didn't do anything tonight, so he didn't enhance his chances.
But if they win, if they get the number 1 seed with no Derrick Henry, he ran for a touchdown
on 4th down,
and he did the finger roll. Yeah, but to Breech's point, they're going to win the division. That's one checkbox.
If they and Debo pointed this out before the show too. If they or during the pregame, hit the like button, people. If they win, if they have the number 1 seed and Derrick Henry doesn't play after week 8, Tannehill is going to get some MVP votes, and Mike Vrabel's probably getting Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I'm going to ask, what's Vrabel's Coach of the Year?
We don't have odds up, but he's definitely 15-1 or higher, I would guess, just because there's other guys involved in the conversation.
And here's the fun fact I shared on Twitter about Mike Vrabel. Since he got hired in 2018, the Titans have been an underdog of 6 or more points, a total of 7 times. That includes Sunday night against the Rams. They are 7-0 against the spread and 6-1 straight up in those games. So when they're underdog of 6 and more, they're 6-1. Like, that's insanity. Teams don't win at that kind of clip when they are big underdogs like that. So Mike Vrabel has them ready to play in every single big game. And we saw that over the past 4 weeks with the win over the Colts, the win over the Chiefs, the win over the Bills, the win over the Rams. I mean, they just kept coming and coming. And the crazy comeback win against the Seahawks in week 2. I mean, it's like they thought week 1 against Cardinals was an extra preseason game. But since then, they've been on a roll. Let's not talk about the Jets game.
They lost the Jets.
Everyone was injured in the Jets game.
It is fun to see John Breech, noted Titans fan.
Yeah. I got a Titans helmet back there. It's been back there for 2 years.
I live in Nashville, whatever. It's fine. Titans. No, sorry. Elsewhere in the AFC South, the Jaguars.
My God.
Beat the Bills. I mean, look, this is very indicative of what happened in week 9. The Jaguars beat the Bills 9-6. If I had told you that you could have $100 bet at 50 million to 1 odds, and I rolled out I guess was that $5 trillion, and I rolled out $5 trillion. I was like, but you have to bet on the Bills to score exactly 6 points. Would you have bet that? No.
Let me flip it this way. Let me flip it this way. If I had told you this morning that Jacksonville was going to score 9 points against Buffalo, what would you have guessed as the final score? Like 58-9? Yeah, something insane. You wouldn't think there was any possible way Jacksonville won.
81 straight teams before today.
I thought you were going to say 81-9, but I'm listening.
No, 81 straight teams had scored less than 10 points and lost their football game until the Jaguars scored 9 and won. Jacksonville entered the game as a 15.5 point underdog, 15.5 point underdog. According to our friends at Caesars Sportsbook, only 6 teams since 1990 have pulled off a win when entering the game as a more significant underdog. They were like, Buffalo is minus 1,100 or something. According to the Action Network, the Jags get their first win in the United States since week 1 in 2020. The Bills scored their fewest points since week 17 of 2019, a 13-6 loss by Matt Barkley to the Jets. There was a lot of Josh Allen on Josh Allen crime. Josh Allen of the Jaguars sacked, intercepted, and recovered a fumble from Josh Allen of the Bills. I had another stat on this. It was but anyway, I forgot it now. But it was it's for a different team. At any rate, I mean, what the hell do you make about this? The Bills were like struggled a little bit coming out of their bye against the Dolphins early in the first half. But this is a team with a MVP candidate in Josh Allen. This is a team with an incredible offense. And they laid of all the eggs laid today, this was by far the biggest breach.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. This was shocking. Every time that I turned this game on for an extended period of time, I was thinking it's only a matter of time before Buffalo reels off 3 straight touchdowns and wins this game. 31-6. I mean, it was just shocking to see. It was like Josh Allen time traveled back to 2018 and his 2018 self kidnapped 2021 Josh Allen and then came back in the DeLorean and played in this game, because it was what was Josh Allen's problem in 2018? It was just he was the Daniel Jones of 2018. It was just turning over the ball left and right, inexplicable, and you knew the team couldn't be successful, and that's what we saw here. I mean, he had a fumble that never should have happened. You've got to be way more protective of the ball in these situations. He had 2 bad interceptions. I mean, it was just, I don't think he can be an MVP candidate anymore because he hasn't looked that good. I mean, you mentioned the Dolphins game. They looked horrible for 3 quarters. Their last 3 games, really, if you want to throw in the Titans game too, he wasn't horrible, but he wasn't great. It just seems like, I think it was the Chiefs they beat. And since then, they've just been falling apart for
their
whatever
offensive line hasn't been very good for a few weeks now.
They played.
And Josh Allen's not playing well, but their offensive line hadn't been very good.
They had 9 series. They scored on their first 2 possessions, both field goals. The last came early in the second quarter, and then they went bupkis. Punt, interception, punt, fumble, game over on downs. I mean, you're playing the Jaguars. This is unacceptable on every level. You're playing a Jaguars team where Trevor Lawrence left for a little bit ago, his ankle taped up, and CJ Beathard was out there. I don't know. Look, it's one thing for Sean McVay to say, yeah, my game plan stunk. We got beat by a better team.
McDermott, but yes.
No, Sean McVay.
You say the Titans. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the Titans game. Sean McDermott can't say we got beaten by a better team because those were all self-inflicted wounds. I mean, whatever. It's a big win for Jacksonville, but let's be honest. They still scored, as Breech done, at 9 points. And typically in any other week, that ain't going to do it for you. And this Bills team, by the way, had one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they held them to 9 points. But the offense, it's I don't know what's going on. And I think
Trevor Lawrence went 15 of 26 for 118 yards, no touchdowns. Carlos Hyde, with no James Robinson in the lineup, 21 carries, 67 yards. Their leading receiver is Dan Arnold with 4 catches for 60 yards, and they won a football game.
Yeah.
And the other part of Josh Allen's turnovers is all 3 of them, the 2 interceptions and the lost fumble, were all in Jacksonville territory. So they would move the ball, and then Josh Allen would do something dumb, and then Jags fans got the last laugh.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the offensive stat line is very similar to the Titans and what we saw from Ryan Tannehill. Not much of a running game to speak of. Carlos Hyde actually did a little better than the running game for the Titans, but this is all just mistakes. Matthew Stafford made a ton of mistakes. Josh Allen made a ton of mistakes. 2 legit MVP candidates, and maybe it's just the curse of week 9, whatever week we're in now, and all the good teams that played like straight up dog crap. And I don't know if maybe that's the only explanation, because there really is no sort of explain away some of the absolutely terrible football we saw this weekend.
Let me ask you this: does this score make you more inclined to bet on the Jets at home against the Bills next week plus 13, or less inclined, or more inclined to bet on the Bills laying 13 in New York?
I thought you were going to say, does this score remind you of Gronkowski? Yes, it does.
Is Mike White playing?
Although it is interesting that like 6 and 9 could be Josh Allen, like sort of
6 and 9, and it had been 420 days since the last time Jacksonville won a game in the United States of America.
Breech,
ring the bell.
I wish we had I don't even know what noise. It's not a dunk noise. It's like
celebratory.
Like some. I don't know. Anyway,
what's the scoregami on 6 to 9?
It has happened before.
I think it's happened a lot. Do you remember? You
remember back in the days, Ryan, when
we're in the end zone?
I think from 1962 to 1969, every final score was 6 to 9 in every game played.
So this isn't unique. All right, what are you asking, Brinson? What are the games again? Bills.
The Bills are minus 13 according to our pals at Caesars.
It has happened 30 times in NFL history, and very fittingly, the last time it happened also involved Jacksonville.
Of course it did.
That was back in 2018 against the Titans.
Yeah,
somebody correctly points out for Breech's 69-420, we should do this.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah. There it is.
We need it's like Tyrann Mathieu and like a bunch of lasers.
These double-digit lines are so difficult to navigate because you don't know which team's going to show up.
Well, and that's what we were saying is like we had gotten to the point where we were sort of trusting these big favorites, and then this is when I won 2 games against a spread a couple weeks ago. This is what I was expecting, and of course I wasn't on it this week. Just I don't know if you have to just keep hammering the dogs or what, but
By the way, Wilson 8-5 so far this week against the
very
spread.
nice, very nice.
By the way, the only guy who picked the Titans against the spread.
Good job by you.
You
Thank
lied and you had him change your picks.
Hey, Breech is lying about his picks. There's a controversy erupting at CBS.
No controversy.
Breech is like, oh, actually, I had the Falcons.
Breech is coming on strong is what's happening, and you guys are just trying to plant. This is like when people put drugs in your trunk so you get arrested. That's what you guys are doing right now.
Like
Putting drugs in my trunk.
It's like that episode of Saved by the Bell. I remember that.
Except there's literally a website that shows like, hey, look at Breech's trunk drugs. We don't have planning anything. It's like on the website it says Breech took the Saints.
I have time-stamped emails that prove I am in the right here.
That's what you do.
No
way would everything you would Photoshop that or alter them. Does this in any way change your feeling about the Bills and their ability to win the Super Bowl?
Yes.
How about their ability to win the AFC
Right.
East?
They're
They're not
tied-
a walk anymore.
Same record with my guy Mac Jones and the Patriots.
Oh man, Ryan's gonna have
Yeah,
a
no, changed my
celebratory.
opinion a lot. Like I'm less concerned about the Rams in terms of their loss. They've lost to the Cardinals and they lost to the Titans.
I think no, the Pats have an extra loss because they haven't had their bye yet. Pats are 5-4, I think.
What are the Bills?
5-3.
5-3.
Oh, same number of wins. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Bills are still in first place, but the Pats are knocking on the door. We will talk about that in a second because or in a bit. I mean, I don't think this division is
Sewn up.
no. I don't know if I'm getting nervous because I have both the Pats and the Bills to win the division.
The Bills have lost 2 of 3. You know who has a better record in their last 3 games than Buffalo? Jacksonville.
Yikes.
2-1 in their last 3 games.
That's yikes.
Remember, you guys laughed at me when I said they were going to win 4 games? They're halfway there.
You're Buffalo and you come out of your division or come out of your bye, excuse me, knowing that you lost a tough game to the Titans going into the bye, and you got Miami at home and then the Jets on the road. I mean, excuse me, the Jaguars on the road, then the Jets on the road the week after that. You have to be thinking, well, you're not looking ahead to the Jets. You just get up and prepare for the week and smash people. All right, we're deep into this podcast and have not hit enough games. So let's move. We're moving along, Wilson. And we're not even going to do the whole Josh Allen thing, which was, I mean, we talked about it, but come on, it was fine. Guy with one name, guy with two first names sacks another area man with 2 first names sacks other area man with 2 first names. Congratulations.
This is what I wanted
So
to
if
happen.
we brought a guest on this podcast named Will Brinson, that wouldn't be hilarious to you?
I mean,
It wouldn't be hilarious to
I
him.
do know someone named Brinson, which is kind of weird. He
Will
lives
Brinson 2.0 would be very upset with the Will Brinson he met on this podcast. What I wanted to happen in the game is that Buffalo Josh Allen played edge rusher, Jaguars Josh Allen played quarterback, and then Buffalo Josh Allen sacked Jaguars Josh Allen. That would have been
But if you flip the two, I think that the Buffalo with Jaguars Josh Allen at quarterback might have had a better chance of winning.
they would have won the
Jaguars. Broncos 30, Cowboys 16. As we talked about in the pregame show, reminder, you can join us. We go early. Did you have the Broncos winning outright?
No, covering.
Okay, good job by you. Hit the like button on the YouTube channel. We're giving away a $100 Paramount Plus gift card if you just showed up for any reason. 4 teams, Denver, Jacksonville, KC, and the Giants, enter week 9 with 500 or below record and defeated a team that began today in first place in their division. The first time that's happened since December 18th, 2011, where 4 teams with a 500 record or below after entering week 9 beat a division leader. That's how crazy this week was. Also insane the fact that one of those teams is Kansas City. Tyron Smith didn't play. That I'm mad that I didn't. The Von Miller thing threw me off. Because if Von Miller plays, I feel like I'm taking the Broncos to cover here, knowing that no Tyron Smith alters how the Cowboys operate. The Cowboys basically got shut out here. They scored the 16 points they scored were in the final 4:14 of the game.
Garbage time.
Total garbage.
We need a garbage time button.
Garbage.
Let me make that happen.
Anyway, Dak has thrown an interception in 3 straight games and 2 passing touchdowns, the fewest for Dak since week 2. What's your level of panic on the Cowboys?
Well, I mean, they're winning the division. Every other team in that division has 6 losses. If I remember correctly. Here's the thing: I don't know what to make of any of this. The defense had played well up to this point, and then they got Teddy Bridgewatered. By the way, don't ever sleep on Teddy Bridgewater. He just wins. That's all he does. It is incredibly difficult to watch.
Covers and wins.
It's not fun football. It's just it's I don't know what it is. It's boring. Everything you can think of that's not exciting. That's Teddy Bridgewater, but they find ways to win football games. Fangio was sort of felt like on the hot seat, but I mean, if you're winning, you're winning. So you have to play with what you got. The Von Miller thing is sort of funny because that defense played like they thought Von Miller was still on it. They were getting after it. And so okay. If you had to pick one quarterback, Breech, that you have the most faith in going forward, just for one game next week that you have to win, you taking Matthew Stafford? Are you taking Josh Allen? Are you taking Dak Prescott?
I am taking, I'm probably taking not Matthew Stafford. So we take him out. My hesitation here is between Dak and Josh Allen. I'm probably taking Dak right now.
I think I'm taking Dak as well, even though they all played like a lot of the steaming pile of turds.
Dog doo-doo, Ryan. We need a button when you say dog doo-doo. That's your line.
I don't want to wear it out.
You can't wear it out. It's your line.
Path to 9 wins.
Are you taking Matthew Stafford?
I would, yes.
No, yeah.
Who am I picking going forward? So I was trashed.
One game next week, you got to win.
Dak, Matthew Stafford, or Josh Allen?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a generic team in front and around them, or is it their specific team?
We'll go with the generic. We'll go with the Falcons, one of those middle of the road teams.
I'll take Matthew Stafford, but I'd be fine with Dak or Josh Allen.
What an answer. All right, go ahead.
I mean, they're all three good quarterbacks. Look, the big takeaway, if you want to find a silver lining for the Cowboys here, it's that Dak looked healthy. And
Yeah.
no, I mean, it is like,
I know it's just funny to say about an MVP guy.
That's the silver lining.
Well, he has a calf injury.
He has two legs.
He's coming off a severe ankle injury from last year. You want to make sure that he's good to go. I mean, like, the calf injury is concerning. They scored 32.1 points per game coming into week 8. They've rushed for 78 yards per game the last 2 weeks. That is extremely concerning.
And also they gave up 190 rushing yards, which is something we hadn't seen a lot of. Javonte Williams he was doing his Derrick Henry impression on the Cowboys
He is so good. Both he and Michael Carter are awesome. People are like, why does Carolina suck now? It's like, because they lost those two guys.
Yeah.
Those dudes are great.
And he's been a good 1-2 punch with Melvin Gordon, because now Melvin Gordon, he's still getting his carries, getting his yards, and Javonte Williams a good change of pace back to get in there. And they both had a really good game.
Is there any reason that the Cowboys should not have played Dak here?
You just said he's healthy. So
No, I said it's a silver lining that he looks healthy. He moved around fine and does not appear to be severely hampered by the calf injury.
Well, in retrospect, it looks like I can't remember the backups. What's the backup's name?
Cooper Rush won the game
Rush
against the Vikings last week.
I know. I can't.
I'm not saying that Dak looked good. He was 19 of 39 for 232, 2 touchdowns and a pick. I'm just saying that if you're trying to find a silver lining, it's that he's healthy.
All right. Yeah. Well, they got.
The first 2 possessions they got to the Broncos territory and they just failed on 2 4th downs. So they couldn't come up with a big play when they needed. It's not like Denver's defense was just this impenetrable brick wall. Yeah. And then on their 3rd possession, they had a 4th and 1 and they punted because I think Mike McCarthy frightened himself because they went 0 for 2 on the first 2 4th downs. Like, either you're using the numbers or you're not. You can't just decide because sometimes it doesn't work in your favor. That's just how things work.
How the analytics work. You're not just because you use analytics doesn't mean you hit 100% of the plays. Analytics means you're going to miss some of them.
Right. And so it was just, and I think after those first 3 possessions where you failed twice on 4th down and then you punt on 4th down, it just seemed like Denver's confidence shot up like, oh, this was supposed to be a good team. We can play with them. And then they just knocked their socks off. I mean, I think, Brinson, somebody said D-Pants. Did somebody say D-Pants?
I say D-Pants a lot. Hit the like button if you're watching YouTube. We are perilously close to giving away a $100 Paramount gift card. Do we need to? It's so weird that the Broncos are 5-4 because they just traded the Von Miller, like one of the absolute Ring of Honor guy, probably a NFL Hall of Famer. Maybe Wilson, you can disagree, but I feel like he's a lock. And their defense came out and played really well. They ran the ball well. I mean, are they bad? I thought they were dead in the water. They looked like trash. They looked awful for several weeks, and now they look good this week. Are we falling for this? Every team in the AFC West now above 500. Rather remarkable. The Broncos are a half game out of first place in that division, and they just traded Von Miller. That is crazy.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the playoffs. So they're 11th in the playoff standings, but again, they're all 5-4, and the team that's in 7th is 5-4 as the Patriots. So they're right there. I don't know. They feel sort of like they're better than the Carolina Panthers were a week ago when they were the 7th seed.
They finally beat a team with a winning record. They finally beat a team with a winning record. I think is big because we're like, you're 4-4, but you're kind of fraudulent because you beat the Giants, the Jags, the Jets, and Washington, and now they've got this real win where you're like, oh, maybe Denver can actually compete. So it's very interesting.
All right, Wilson, what's your wins over Wilson record? Or excuse me, line. Look ahead line for Eagles at Broncos in week 10.
That's going to be probably -3.5.
Who?
Minus 4.
Who?
Denver.
-2.5.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's close.
That's a dicey little game right there.
Because you know what Jalen's going to do. We'll talk about what he did today. It's the same old, same old. He rolls right and runs and drives me crazy, Devo.
Yeah.
And real quick in the Cowboys game, I want to talk about the crazy play that happened at the beginning of the second half.
The punt.
The blocked
Oh my
punt.
God. My brother, we were watching in the living room. My brother got mad at me because I was like, Charlie, shut up. I need to like rewind this and like hear the explanation for how this is somehow Denver's ball. Go ahead, Breech.
And so we had that double punt with the Seahawks back in September. I had to Google that one. I had no idea what was going on. Can you double punt it? What in the heck? This one I did not have to Google because if a punted ball goes past the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter if it was blocked. It doesn't matter if it wasn't blocked. It is treated as a punt. So if that guy had not blocked it, right, and it goes across the line of scrimmage, if a Cowboys player touches it, it's a fumble. It becomes a fumbled ball. And so the same rule applies if it's blocked. If it's blocked, and so if it had landed on the other side of the line of scrimmage, on the Broncos side of the line of scrimmage, and the Cowboys recovered, it just would have been a dead ball there. If the Broncos would have recovered, dead ball, Dallas's ball, but since it crossed the line of scrimmage,
I think that rule kind of makes sense when you actually think about it.
It does.
It gets blocked, but because most block punts go backwards,
right?
But a block punt still carries past the line of scrimmage. It's a punt because he punted it and it went past the line of scrimmage and it hits a Dallas player. So then it's just whoever recovers it, it's their ball on first down going whichever way it goes.
Right. And if that Cowboys player had not touched it, then it would have gone in the books as like a 2-yard punt.
Correct. Even a really short.
So that's on the special teams coach for not drilling that in, or the player not knowing probably what the special team coach had yelled at him.
Right. He probably was under the impression that he was so close to the line of scrimmage, he might have thought he was behind it so that he could get the ball. So, I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah. So if a punted ball makes it past the line of scrimmage, it's just normal punting rules are in effect. So
it was crazy.
That was bonkers though. That was a bonkers play. You don't ever see that.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. While we do this break, make sure that you hit the like button. And when we come back from said break, we'll probably give away Paramount Plus gift card. We're pretty close to doing it. We'll also tell you where the Chiefs are about to go on a crazy run. And maybe if there's a Patrick Mahomes MVP bet to make coming up next.
Every day I walk through this world faking it. But sometimes I have an urge too strong to ignore.
Totally random and not related at all to any break that we took on the podcast video version. You get Showtime and Paramount Plus combined together. Not a bad little deal there. $9.99 a month, I think. Pretty good. Speaking of Paramount Plus. In fact, I would bet that you could probably use that gift card to get both Showtime and Paramount Plus. So you get 10 months of both of those. You can watch billions and billions and billions and billions. Hit the like button on YouTube. Wilson will be back in a second. Let's talk about Chiefs and Packers.
I think Wilson went to the bathroom to throw up because he was remembering this game.
I mean, Jordan Love is not so. My buddy Blaine, who I have the Carson Wentz bet with, the career, he likes doing career bets. I guess we all of my friends like doing career bets. Like I have one where I actually have an RG3 versus Ryan Tannehill career bet on one of them has to win a Super Bowl for the other person to lose. And suddenly I'm in danger in 2021. Didn't see that coming because I have RG3. I chose poorly. Blaine was asking, he's like, does anybody want to make a bet on Jordan Love's career? Because I want to bet against this guy after watching him play in relief of Aaron Rodgers. He did not look great. Do you think that Aaron Rodgers' MVP case was supercharged on Sunday with Jordan Love's poor performance, Breech?
I don't know if it was supercharged, but so here's my problem with the Packers is that we always talk about, hey, Matt LaFleur is a good coach and the front office has done such a good job of building a team. But is this really just a house of cards that's being propped up by Aaron Rodgers? Because if you take him out of that system, is Matt LaFleur still a good coach? Is that front office still get all this credit for building a talented roster? Because what I saw today was a team that did not trust their first-round quarterback who has been in this system for a year and a half. And it was just inexcusable because there are teams that are winning with backup quarterbacks. We saw Cooper freaking Rush won a game. Colt McCoy won a game today on Sunday. We saw Mike White won a game. So you could have backup quarterbacks go in and win games. And it didn't ever feel like the Packers had a chance here. It just seemed like we're just have Jordan Love going to hand off the whole game. And then we fall behind 13-0. So we'll have them throw it a little bit. I think if they would have thrown the ball a little more in the first half, that maybe they could have scored before the fourth quarter in the final minute. So it just blows my mind that you say this guy's your quarterback of the future and you put together this game plan that it was like he was a 7th round pick who you signed last week, not a guy who's been in your system for over a full season, a year and a half. So I just thought this was an ugly loss for Green Bay. And the Chiefs defense isn't good. So if you had, this was the time.
Just feed A.J. Dillon 50 times. Like, just give the ball to A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones 50 times and just see what happens and see if they pop a couple runs. Because the Chiefs scored 13 points. They won 13-7. The Packers covered the plus 7.5. Remember, this line was originally Chiefs -3. Then the Chiefs kind of pooped their pants on Monday night. The line went to Packers -1. And then Rodgers got the Rona, and he got moved. It got moved to Chiefs -7.5. I thought the Packers were a good bet. It turned out that they covered. So Jordan Love, 19 of 34. You can't have Jordan Love throwing 34 times. There were plays that were clearly part of the offense where, like, it was a rollout right. Devontae Adams is making this move towards the sideline. He's not like wide open, but he's Aaron Rodgers open. And every time Jordan Love was putting the ball like out of bounds, behind him, too high, too low, he was 19 of 34 on the game for 190 yards, a touchdown, and interception. But interestingly enough, Breech, under pressure, and Steve Spagnuolo was bringing the blitz like crazy, 4 of 11 for 65 yards. I mean, he could not do anything when they started sending blitzes his way. I can't believe Spags didn't blitz every single passing down. Like, they could have won this game 21-0 just by sending heat over and over and over again. I mean, this is the Chiefs defense. This is kind of interesting, I guess. Kind of interesting. First 5 games of the season, Chiefs go 2-3, 32.6 points per game allowed, 437 yards per game allowed. Last 4 games, 3-1, 16 points per game allowed, 311 yards per game allowed. I tell you, if they just ran the ball, if the Packers had ran the ball over and over again, I think they win this game.
I mean, is that interesting? Because they gave up those points to.
No, I don't think that's what I'm saying. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Jordan Love, Daniel Jones, Taylor Heineke.
Exactly.
That's who they're stopping. That's
correct.
I don't know them calling their defense impressive until I see them do it. If they hold Derek Carr to under 17 points in the Raiders offense, maybe we'll talk.
Yeah,
they got
I agree.
Or the Cowboys in 2 weeks, one of those two. But I'm not super impressed with the defense.
I mean, before that, it was 29 Browns, 36 Ravens, 30 Chargers, 30 Eagles, 38 Bills. I mean, it's a very clear delineation between quality offenses and terrible offenses.
With Aaron Rodgers out, this was a game they had to win, and they did it. It didn't matter how they did it. It didn't matter that Patrick Mahomes struggled. It didn't matter. And the defense played amazing. It doesn't matter that they were playing against Jordan Love. They needed a big defensive performance, and they got it. Maybe Aaron Rodgers diced them up for 30 points, but it doesn't matter because Aaron Rodgers didn't play. So in that sense, it was a good performance by the defense.
By the way, Dr. Aaron Rodgers, or I guess he's not a doctor, but He just gets medical advice from Joe Rogan. He is actually now clear for 90 days. We didn't talk about this enough earlier in the week. That's important. I mean, unless he tests positive for COVID, he won't miss any games despite being unvaccinated until 2 days after the NFC Championship game.
Right.
So they lose this game, but this is a game they could have lost anyway. Probably, they weren't.
Yeah,
favored.
I think they roll, and I think
with Rodgers they roll this game.
That's what I'm saying. Because here's the thing: like if we said like a month ago, or even probably the beginning of the season, given how bad the Chiefs have played, yeah, those are two evenly matched quarterbacks, and they're going to go toe to toe. Yeah, that makes sense. It's Rodgers versus Mahomes. Guess what? We had two evenly matched quarterbacks and went toe to toe. It was Jordan Love and Patrick Mahomes. It's not like Patrick Mahomes outplayed Jordan Love by that much. Jordan Love looked terrible, but Patrick Mahomes didn't look much better. Now, look, Tyreek Hill dropped two passes. Someone else dropped a pass, too. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. So there's some issues, but it still seems to come back to Patrick Mahomes getting frustrated, refusing to take what the defense gives him, and trying to throw bombs all day and just blow up in his face. And I think that's untenable. Like, they're not a good football team. I don't know how you magically fix it. I don't think you do. And let's be clear, they are so bad. They've been playing so bad. They almost lost this game. If the Packers did not have multiple special teams blunders, Green Bay might have won this because they had a missed field goal, the blocked field goal, and the muffed punt. That's 3 right there. And if none of those happen, Green Bay maybe wins this game.
And the muff punt wasn't even like a muff. Was it the muff punt, or are you talking about the one that grazed the guy's toe?
Went down as a muff punt.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the stat book calls it a muff punt. But yeah, that one.
They later had another muff punt that they actually recovered. But that's the type of, the refs didn't even call it, and it had to be challenged by Andy Reid. And there just happened to be a very zoomed in camera version where it clearly hit his toe and deflected to the left. I mean, that's not a discernible skill of any sort. That's blind luck.
Yeah. Also, by the way, Daniel Sorensen might want to get him off the field. He just air tackled whoever scored the last touchdown, the only touchdown for the Packers there at the end. That was 4th down, by the way. And I'm only mad because I blew my chance to win that cover. But it is a liability on the back end. I mean, their secondary has already struggled. I think the Jerry ended up having an interception. It was a nice interception. Also worth noting, did Aaron Rodgers get the tickets for Jordan Love and his mom? Jordan Love's
Great call.
I mean, they might as well have been in the parking lot tailgating. They were so far out of view of the field.
It was like Aaron Rodgers, the great Aaron Rodgers. She had the report where she's like, and so here's where their seats are. They zoom all the way up in the back. I saw somebody point out correctly on Twitter that, in fairness, the Packers haven't had to request tickets for family members of their quarterback in quite some time. So how could they possibly be expecting to put the starting quarterback's family anywhere good? Andrew Brand also pointed out
to Will Brinson.
Yes. Andrew Brand also pointed out that of the MMQB for Aaron Rodgers' former agent that, it was Amy Trask who pointed this out. Friend of the show, Amy Trask, that while you can say it's like the Chiefs, it's like people are like, the Chiefs screwed Rodgers, like Jordan Love's family, like mom over. It's like, no, the Packers could have moved some VIPs out to get Jordan Love's family down low, like very easily,
or get them somewhere other than the very last row in the upper deck.
Yeah,
it's your starting quarterback. They literally could have gone on StubHub and spent $300 per ticket to get them in the front row if they want. Like, there is no reason they should have been sitting in the nosebleeds unless they literally requested to sit in the nosebleeds, because maybe they had a nosebleed yesterday and it made them feel more comfortable. Maybe they didn't want to sit close to the field because they knew that the mom knew Jordan Love was going to get beat up in the game. And she, one of those moms don't sometimes like to cover their eyes because they can't handle it.
She couldn't see. She didn't need to cover her eyes. She couldn't even see the field.
Cover your eyes or anything. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I can't wait to hear the explanation for this.
Wilson, do you want to try and talk me out of betting Patrick Mahomes win the MVP at 40-1?
They scored 13 points against the Packers defense.
9 games left.
Okay. What are the odds at now?
40-1.
I love Tannehill.
No. I said I am betting when the odds are up on my site on Monday morning. I am betting Tannehill, Patrick Mahomes, and Derek Carr. The AFC is wide open. Look, the Chiefs suck right now. They're terrible.
Patrick Mahomes has to do a literal 180. I'm not saying literally, figuratively. I'm saying it literally. He has to do a 180 in terms of his production because he is going in the wrong direction. And there's been very few bright spots. The best play of the game for him was the last throw to end the game to convert it.
Maybe, look, I'm just saying, Patrick, you will never see Patrick Mahomes at 40-1 halfway through the season ever again, more than likely.
Yeah, he might.
I mean, the idea that Patrick Mahomes is just toast is crazy.
I don't think he's toast, but I mean, something's wrong.
So something, yeah, defense is.
Let me ask you, what's wrong with him? Do you know?
He's leaving pockets too early. The offensive line isn't playing well, and defenses are figured out this. They figured out that Mahomes is impatient and Andy Reid won't commit to the run. And so they just play the shell on the back end and they rush for, and Mahomes will, like, the prime example was that shot he took to Mecole Hardman down the right side of the field with two guys covering him. And where if he throws it in the right spot, maybe Mecole speeds up and gets underneath it. But Travis Kelce is standing underneath in coverage, sitting on the first down line with no one around him. Like, he is wide open, and Mahomes he's not patient enough to take it. And it sort of flashes back to what was happening in college with him, I think.
And that's your MVP. Okay. Yeah.
No,
better way.
I mean, the idea that
Wilson, that was the trick that Wilson just put on you. He wanted you to explain all the reasons why you shouldn't make the bet, and you did it.
I don't think it's 40-1. It's probably not going to win, but it's Patrick Mahomes. It's 40-1. He's got 9 games left. Maybe he flips a switch and something happens.
You should bet one $100 Paramount Plus voucher on it, and then hand out 40 of them when you win.
I'm betting Mahomes, Derek Carr, and Ryan Tannehill. The AFC is wide open. One of those dudes can steal something and win the division.
All right. Good luck to you.
The AFC doesn't need to be wide open. It could be on lockdown. If the Bengals could just beat the Jets and Browns, they could be 7-2.
I thought we agreed we weren't talking about this game today.
No, we are.
No, we agreed we were talking about it extra long.
I have a couple of facts I'm going to give out on this game, and then I am going to use the bathroom and let Breech do his little rant on the Bengals. This is the Browns' first win in the team's history with Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson on the call. They were previously 0-8 straight up when our top trio were calling the Browns game.
Were those all Andy Dalton games?
Wrong button, sorry.
Not even a joke.
Oh, we missed.
Doesn't make sense.
It's legitimately
The Browns are 0-8.
Oh, I thought you said the Bengals were.
No, the Browns were 0-8.
Oh,
your insult didn't make sense. Brinson using the button didn't make sense. You guys are dunking on yourselves when you're trying to dunk on me. That's like a reverse dunk.
The Browns are the first team since the 1967 Chargers with an interception return touchdown, a rush touchdown, and a pass touchdown that all went for 60-plus yards. The Browns have now won 6 of the last 7 against the Bengals. Oh, we missed. The Bengals defense has given up 75 points to the Browns and the Jets in the last 2 weeks. Oh, we missed. And this is the 5th straight game with an interception for Joe Burrow, which was the second longest streak in the NFL until Patrick Mahomes, who at 7 ended his, meaning that Joe Burrow now is the longest interception streak in the NFL, and he's tied with Sam Darnold for the most interceptions this season with 11. Oh, we missed. So, Breech.
And before you go to the bathroom, I want to pass on along a text from our buddy Ken Carmen, who has a radio show in Cleveland, huge Browns guy. Here's what
I've blocked Ken on Twitter and on my text messages. I don't talk to Browns fans anymore.
He does an early morning show, so he texted me at 8:55 p.m. on Sunday night. He says, "I'm going to bed. No mercy on John Breech tonight. 0." So,
oh, he missed. He missed. Oh, and he may have pulled a hamstring or a muscle, and there is complete elation.
Gotta go full length Harlan for that. All right.
So Breech, give us you can break down the turnovers as Brinson goes and takes care of business. Break down the turnovers and your level of optimism, because I believe you picked the Bengals to win this game. Is that right?
Well, let me just say that I did pick them to win this game, but as soon as Odell was getting released late in the week, I said, it's fine. They're not winning. This was a classic get rid of the locker room malcontent, as one Browns player reportedly used to describe Odell, and everyone's going to be better. Baker Mayfield's head is going to be on straight. Everyone's going to be out there. The Browns are going to prove that they can win without Odell, which they clearly do very well, because I think they're now 8-4 without him in the time that he has been in Cleveland. And, the crazy thing about this game, literally 2 weeks ago, I think I spent 20 minutes making you guys listen to me talk about how the Bengals were a lock for the playoffs because they just destroyed Baltimore and they were 5-2. And I already had them pinned into my number 1 seed in my playoff bracket. Now I have to put that playoff bracket in the trash because they're not going to be the number 1 seed. They might not even be one of the top 7 seeds, which means they won't even be in this thing. This is a classic Bengals collapse. And you know what? Here's the crazy thing is that you can pin it on Joe Burrow. I mean, look, the defense wasn't expected to be so good so fast. So we're going to be defensive struggles this year, but they were so good early in the season. It was like, oh my God, this is amazing. What you can't have is Joe Burrow out there throwing interceptions and have the pass game struggling. I mean, the opening drive, they went straight down Cleveland's throat. They drove 75 yards. They were down, knocking on the door to score a touchdown. And I'm thinking, my God, the Browns, there was all this talk. Myles Garrett's going to pressure Joe Burrow and the Bengals pass game's not going to be able to do anything. No, they went straight down the field. They get to the 3-yard line. They score a touchdown there. The Bengals probably win this game 34-17. But you know what happens? Denzel Ward pick 6.
What
99-yard pick 6, Ryan.
What was you mentioned if they had scored at the Bengals, you felt pretty comfortable about their opportunities to win. What was your probability win rate for the Bengals after you saw Denzel Ward streaking down the sideline?
Well, so once that drive, while that drive was happening, I'm like, this is too easy. This is amazing. I was 100% sure they were going to win. So we see the Denzel Ward pick 6. Now I'm down to about 90%, but I was still, they moved the ball so easily that it didn't really bother me. You know, obviously you don't want to see a 99-yard pick 6.
No.
But then again, they went straight down the field, scored a touchdown on ensuing possession, and would have tied it, except they didn't make the extra point. So now it's 7-6. And again, it's not a big deal because the Bengals offense is moving the ball at will. And then here's where things got a little dicey. Baker Mayfield finally got the ball. Because remember, they didn't touch the offense sitting on the field for Cleveland until there's 4 minutes left in the first quarter because of the pick 6. And the Browns go down and score. And it was like, oh my God, the final score of this game is going to be 54-48. This is just insane. It is already 14-6, and we're in our first quarter. It was, yeah. Okay. So anyway, and then it was just all over after that. They failed on a 4th down.
You just gave up on that one?
The failed 4th down, and then
he missed.
The Donovan Peoples-Jones
Score. He scored,
yard. Right? That was the nail in the coffin.
He missed.
It felt like Joe Burrow only had 2 interceptions. Jamar Chase had the fumble you obviously don't like to see. It felt like Joe Burrow had like 6 picks when you just sort of replay the game in your mind as someone who didn't watch every single play but had it on in the along with the other games. But you're right, he didn't play well. It's not like Baker Mayfield set the world on fire. It was sort of the situation we've seen with every other quarterback who won today. It's because their defense took opportunities on the turnovers and turned them into points. And I think you're right. Joe Burrow is the problem. I don't think that says anything about Joe Burrow other than he had a bad day like everyone else. But that was a game. It wasn't a must-win game, but it was as close as you can get to a must-win game, and you just didn't show it.
Let me ask you this, there, Wilson. I pointed this out to Breech before. If we got to the Bengals are at their bye now, they're gonna come out of their bye. They're
in the bye started on Sunday.
He missed.
Would if you're a Bengals fan, wouldn't you sign for 5-4 going into the bye?
Oh, I think
yeah. So if somebody told you in August, it said, "Hey, you're a Bengals fan. How do you feel about 5-4 at the bye?" Any Bengals fan would have signed on for it.
Yeah, but if you said that 2 weeks ago,
the Bengals losses are to the Bears, which is terrible. Yeah. OT to the Packers in a game they could have won, but the Packers are.
But Joe Burrow threw an interception.
The Jets, and then the Browns at home. Like,
I don't know that the Browns at home after coming off that demoralizing loss to the Steelers last week.
The Jets last week.
No, the Browns.
Yeah, but now to the point of somebody in chat pointed out, Sam Bruce Smith said, "Can we have some props for the Browns today?" By the way, we're giving away a Paramount Plus $100 gift card. We hit the like number. Hooray for everybody. We'll give it out soon. Debo will take care of that. Debo is a very diligent person. Keep hitting the like button. Keep commenting. We appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button while you're at it.
We're like 10 minutes away from giving out that gift card.
Okay. Just so you know. And that's why you want to tune into these live chats. You get a $100 Paramount Plus gift card.
By the way, the sooner we get to this thing, the sooner we can go home and go to sleep.
Okay. Just let me do the job.
Let me do the job. Listen to this guy. Now he's got.
We would have started 30 minutes earlier, but somebody had to change it to a sweatshirt. The point being is that the Browns Odell Beckham situation, I mean, that's the sort of thing that, like, come on, the Browns want to go out there and be like, look, you think we can't win without this guy who's been miserable since he got here?
Breech said that earlier while you ran away for a second there. I get it, but I mean, you know, the other guys get paid too. That's still not, that doesn't explain Joe Burrow making horrible decisions. I mean, Baker Mayfield played well given the opportunities he was asked to do whatever he needed to do. And the defense was opportunistic too. I get that.
Both of these teams are 5-4. I think the Browns blew. This is sort of like the Ravens game early. Was it 2019, where it's like just out of nowhere, Nick Chubb goes nuke, has a bunch of long runs for the Browns. They score a ton of points. They blow out a division rival on the road. But if you're the Browns and you're 5-4, like the Bengals should be a lot happier about being 5-4 than the Browns.
In August, they should be, but 2 weeks ago, if you told them they're going to be 5-4, they should rightly be upset.
They're both 2-2 in their past 4 games, and the commenter who wanted props for the Browns, I think you got to love the fact that Baker Mayfield, I mean, that 60-yard touchdown pass to Donovan Peoples-Jones, right on the money, especially with the shoulder thing. You wanted him to come out and playing well, and that's what you got for the most part. And Nick Chubb, look, when Nick Chubb's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in football, one of the top 3 running backs in football. And the Bengals had no answer for that. And if Nick Chubb's running like that, I mean, you got to feel good about the Browns' chances going forward, especially when, I mean, they got the Lions in a couple of weeks. If you guys had to pick right now, only one of these 2 teams can make the playoffs. Who are you picking?
I'm taking the Browns because when the Browns get healthy, they'll
I hate you.
I'm probably taking the Browns. I mean, again, I went to the bathroom while you were addressing the Bengals, so I don't want to double down here, but they've given up 75 points to the Jets and Browns in the last 2 weeks. The defense was top 5 in DVOA 3 weeks ago, and they were number 1 in the AFC.
And Breech said that's not bad. What'd you just say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that it's not, I wouldn't say 75.
Oh, he missed!
The defense hasn't given up 75. First of all, a pick 6 is not on the defense, so it's only 68.
Sorry, the Bengals have allowed the Jets and Browns to score 75 points against them.
Okay, that's better. Don't put it all on the defense.
Is that better? Is that better?
No, it's not.
It actually be 69 points against them.
Well, they didn't give up the extra point either.
Oh, he missed!
That last one was for King Carmen. Let's move on. The Bengals, the bye is coming at a good time for the Bengals.
Yes.
Zach Taylor can really get in the lab, fumble a beaker, and accidentally, kill himself, and he'd be out of this game.
God, Brinson. This took a turn for the worse.
He's not going to kill himself.
Oh, my God.
The Ravens.
Let's move to the next game right now.
Ravens beat the Vikings 34-31 in overtime. A wild game that saw the Vikings, who are just completely incapable of not being involved in an insane ending. 5 of their 8 games have come down to the final play of the game. That is wild. And they are 2-3 in those games. Of course, they lost to the Ravens today. Their previous wins were against the Panthers and the Lions, I believe. I don't feel like looking up their other 2, but
they lost to the Bengals, and they lost on a Greg Joseph field goal against the Cardinals because he missed.
Yep.
And they also went to OT with the Panthers.
And Lamar Jackson tied Michael Vick for the most 100-yard rush games by a quarterback in regular season, in their regular season careers, with 10. Michael Vick is in like his 4th year. I mean, that is crazy.
Lamar
Jackson is in his 4th year. I sort of take away from this that the Ravens surviving this chaotic week with a win against this bizarre Minnesota team is a net positive. Is that weird?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it was 24-10 in the 3rd quarter, and I said, there's no way the Vikings will win in this game. I mean, everybody knew it. And the most frustrating thing is that Kirk Cousins came down and had the cover deciding touchdown to take the game to overtime, that numbnut. But they weren't winning this game.
Oh, yeah.
Why did they go for 2? Go for 2. Like Mike Zimmer, you've been losing all these just heartbreaking games. Just go for 2 when you score that game-tying touchdown at the end of regulation.
I think it's the moral victory is you win the football game in a sense. You stack wins, as we like to say for the Ravens, but you don't feel great about it. You feel better than the Bills, of course, but you don't feel as good as the Titans.
You feel better than the Chiefs and Bills.
Yeah.
Not as
Yeah.
good as the Titans. I look at this game. It seems obvious that kind of what happened. So the Vikings scored they scored a touchdown on their first 2 possessions. They went punt, field goal, end of half. Returned the opening kickoff of the second half for I think it was a 100-yard touchdown, or at least 98 or 9. Yeah, it was a 100-yard touchdown. And then, of course, didn't score again until the thing that the play to tie it up. This is the problem with the Vikings. They came out and like that throw to Justin Jefferson. He was open by 10 yards. Like there is no. Why would you keep going back to that? Put your foot on the gas. Your defense is not good enough to let off and allow the Ravens. You knew we had to go into pass mode, and they did. And Lamar scrambled a bunch. He had 21 carries in this game, 41 pass attempts.
You got to be better, Mike Zimmer.
Before the season, Lamar had 0 double-digit comebacks in his career. This season alone, he now has 3.
Yeah, that narrative was stupid.
The Vikings are stupid.
The Vikings are stupid.
They're not going to the
They're
playoffs.
3-5, and they could be like 6 and.
I know. I think at some point, in the not too distant past, we had them as possibly in the competition for 7th seed. And they currently sit 9th. Out of 7.
You were slamming the idea that the Vikings were going to go to the playoffs.
But usually, when you're in close games, like the law of averages says, you're supposed to win half of them. The Vikings they're Murphy's law, where they don't.
They're 2 and 3.
Well, it's not half.
Oh,
it's
math dunk.
How are you going to have half of 5 games? What are you talking about?
That's what you said, not him.
There's.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the NFC standings.
So the Saints lost to the Falcons, which was pretty enormous because the Falcons slid into the 7th seed. Carolina somehow still the 8th seed. There's no one on planet Earth, including the head coach, the owner, the GM, the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, who believes that they will have a prayer at making the playoffs. The Vikings could be 4-4 and right there with Atlanta. They blew this game. Seattle lurking.
I'm back on the Seahawks bandwagon.
Yeah, you already got my audio clipped, ready to go.
I got Wilson's invitation onto the bandwagon.
Is there a chance that we have 2 open spots? Could the Saints sit back far enough?
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure out what's going on with Trevor and Taysom, whatever your combination is there. I thought you were going to say, is there a chance the 49ers are in the mix? No, they're done.
We'll talk about the game in a minute. Anyway, Minnesota at 3-5.
They're done.
They're dead in the division, obviously, but certainly look like a team that they can play really well at times.
Unless they reduce the games to 25 minutes, they are done.
Yeah. No, they can still sing in the playoffs. 3-5, they can get in.
They would blow the leads earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done. Yeah. All right, what's next?
The NFC has the Seahawks are on bye right now, right? Yes.
Yep.
The way the NFC has shaken out the last 2 weeks for the Seahawks is very beneficial.
And there's some reports, I believe, that
I think Russ could play this week. His pin's out. I mean, it's possible.
I was going to say that Odell might end up in Seattle. I think there's some reports of that.
I don't know if that helps. Can he play?
That's my thing. I was like,
pass rushing safety. What's he going to do?
Edge rusher.
The Giants beat the Raiders 23-16. A devastating loss. If you are Las Vegas, look, I mean, I don't know how many literally unprecedented controversies or situations you can go through as a team in a span of a month before it just sort of catches up and you're on the East Coast playing in a stadium where you've lost several games in bad fashion and you just kind of lay an egg. Derek Carr, 30 of 46, 296, a touchdown, 2 picks. Daniel Jones, 15 of 20, 110 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Booker, 21 carries, 99 yards. And Evan Ingram, the leading receiver for the Giants, 3 catches, 38 yards, and a touchdown. The Raiders are not very good as a favorite. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, please. We're giving away a $100 Paramount Plus gift card in the chat. 0-7 against the spread in their past 7 games as a favorite. D. Carr, 8-8 in terms of pass touchdowns and interceptions. Darren Waller back on the field and had a really nice game. Hunter Renfrow also caught a touchdown pass. Just sort of a very emblematic game in terms of week 9 in the NFL here.
Yeah, and also if you talk to Giants fans, very emblematic game of Jason Garrett just dogging your offense and straight into the mud.
You were watching with a bunch of Giants fans, and
they weren't happy with Jason Garrett, which is a recurring theme.
How'd they feel at the end of the game? Did they want to get Jason Garrett tattoo?
They were happy to win. I will say that. But yeah, the Chargers are now in first place in that division, which only reinforces my bold prediction breach of Justin Herbert winning the MVP. So keep that in mind. I feel like, boy, oh boy, the Raiders. This doesn't portend good things for them. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like they obviously went through an emotional week. Like Brinson said, you have to deal with things that no other team has to deal with. And it seemed like Derek Carr played his worst game of the season. I think the rock bottom for him in this game was the pick six to start the second half. You go into halftime, you're winning 13-10. You didn't play great in the first half, but you're winning, and that's all that matters. Then Derek Carr comes out, throws that pick six. Now you're losing 17-13. And then it kind of snowballed from there. I mean, they were moving the ball. They get to, I think, their third possession. They had a missed field goal from Daniel Carlson that was 25 yards. 25 yards. That was the shortest missed field goal of his career, and the only missed field goal this season by any NFL kicker less than 30 yards. So no kicker in the NFL had missed a 20-something yard field goal all season. He misses that. And then Carr threw another interception. So it was just all these things just kept adding up. And, it was just the total chaos that was today. You see crazy stuff like that. I mean, you don't see Derek Carr throw pick sixes. You don't see kickers miss 25-yard field goals. But
25-yard field goals. Why are you kicking a 25-yard field goal? What was it?
It was 4th and 3 from the Giants 7.
Well, that's what you get.
And it was 20-16, so it would have cut the lead 20-19.
You got to go there. You got to go there, Rich.
Yeah,
because you can get a first down, and B,
you can score a touchdown.
You can take the lead, right? Exactly. Man,
By the way,
whatever
the
reason, this stadium. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying the 2 picks for Xavier McKinney, the second-year safety. He's starting to play well.
Yep. Yeah. Good call. This stadium has kind of been a nightmare for the Raiders. They beat the Jets last year by 3, and they scored 31, so good for them. But then the year before in 2019, remember, they were sort of
wait a second though. That Jets game was the game they're supposed to lose. And Greg Williams, that was the Greg Williams.
The Hail
game.
Mary, right?
Oh, you're right. That's right. They should have lost that game. The Hail Mary cover 0 game.
That's what that was.
They had no reason winning that game. That's right. Good call. And then the year before, they were at the Jets and lost 34-3 to a terrible Adam Gase Jets team. And then they go in here and lose to the Giants. I don't know what it is about MetLife, but they are not good there. They were coming off a bye. I mean, you're traveling to the East Coast, but you got 2 weeks to prepare. And it's interesting because I don't. So the Raiders have signed Deshaun Jackson, as Josina Anderson first reported, and they are rumored to be interested in Odell Beckham if he makes it that far to him on waivers. If they added both of those guys with Darren Waller, you're at least interested.
2 guys who want the ball a lot. How's that going to work out?
Probably poorly. But their next 3 games: Kansas City at home on Sunday night, the Bengals at home in the afternoon slot, and at the Cowboys. On that can't be. It's is that Thanksgiving? No,
it is Thanksgiving. They're going 1-2.
That's
hey-o.
What's their win, Breech?
Maybe it's the Bengals. I don't know, but they're going 1-2.
I would, if I were guessing, I think the odds would be -125. They go 1-2 in those games.
So, I mean, are they playoff team?
So they're 5-3 now. If they go 1-2, they're 6-5 in the mix.
Oh,
but
boy.
yeah,
I'll tell you what's crazy.
Maybe I'm not making the Derek Carr MVP bet after all.
They play the Bengals. I bet the winner of that game ends up going to the playoffs because the Bengals were the 1 seed 2 weeks ago. Now they're the 10 seed, and the Raiders were the 2 seed 2 weeks ago. Now they're the 5 seed.
So you're thinking the Bengals Raiders week 11 game is loser leaves town.
Yes.
I think
that's something to think about it, for your sake.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the AFC playoff race as we sit here. 5, 6, and 7 are Vegas, Pittsburgh, New England. All 3 of those teams could be on the outside looking in as soon as 2 weeks from now.
The Bengals are 10th in the AFC. 2 weeks ago, they were first. That's not a Bengals dog.
Oh, he missed.
I mean, there is so much fluctuation going on in the AFC. It's wild.
To be fair, Jets losses count twice, so that has something to do with how they plummeted so far.
So the Titans, is that why they're number one, Ryan? Booyah.
So
Great.
I'll say this: the Raiders have not played the Chiefs once, and I know the Chiefs are not good.
That could be fun.
But like, if you'd much rather have played the Chiefs already than playing the Chiefs later, they still have to go at Cleveland. They're at the Colts, at the Cowboys, as we mentioned. Oh boy, this is tough.
The Chargers.
They're
the Broncos.
Chargers, Broncos at home. They have a tough schedule coming in.
Indeed.
I believe, do the Broncos have a winning record?
Yeah, everyone in the AFC West has a winning.
Okay, so that means the Raiders have 9 games left, and 8 of the teams they play currently have a winning record.
So that's tough.
Yep.
Washington's the only one that does not.
Just really quickly before we move on, just because we like to try and give out bets that could be profitable. They took them all down. If you got anything under, what would you say the Raiders are to make the playoffs at Caesars tomorrow?
Plus 200.
All right, so what are they to miss the playoffs?
I was going to say plus 230 to make the playoff. To make the playoffs.
To miss the playoffs, what are they? Minus 150?
Yeah.
I would bet that.
Yeah, I would bet that.
I think minus 150 or better, you bet Raiders to miss the playoffs if you see it. They're still tied for first for the freaking division. It's insane.
Yeah, they are.
It's crazy. The Chargers and the Raiders are tied for first in the division. If you get Raiders to miss the playoffs minus 150 or better, hell, it could be plus 110 for all we know.
Roll with it.
Yeah, hit it. All right. Next up. The Chargers.
Before that.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, Debo. In advance of us talking about the Eagles losing, why don't you give away a $100 gift card?
What?
Woo!
You want me to do it?
Oh, I can do it. I don't care. You tell me who it is.
Yeah, you got the power. You took all the power on Thursday. You can announce this.
Okay, but you're gonna have to.
It's in the Slack.
Oh,
come on.
Oh, we have it. I didn't see it. I was looking for an ad handle. Leave me alone. Molly Pestinger is our winner of the $100 Paramount gift card.
Yay, Molly.
Woo! Welcome to the Paramount Plus family. Lifetime membership. You will be charged. You will be billed on a recurring basis
After a year.
Yeah.
After $100. Excuse me.
If you win the gift card, I don't know this, but I'm guessing you can probably get Paramount Plus and Showtime for $9.99 a month. You combine them, you can watch Billions. What's the Showtime? Showtime has a bunch of good stuff.
Yeah.
Billions and Billions.
Billions and billions. But as Breech pointed out, how many months can you get just Paramount Plus, Breech?
20 months.
20 months.
There you go. 20 months or 10
The world
months.
might not even exist for 20 more months. So
exactly
literally
what I
for the
was gonna
rest. She's
Hey, congrats, Molly.
Go.
Thanks for staying up and watching. We appreciate you.
Molly will be in touch, and we'll get that your way so you can start.
Fire up the Paramount Plus or apply it as a credit to your currently billed product. Debo,
Hey,
one more question for you.
I think I have it.
I'm just kidding. Actually, Wilson's the one dragging Jalen Hurts here. Chargers win 27-24 over the Philadelphia Eagles. I actually thought that this is a better game for Jalen Hurts than maybe the way you laid it out, Wilson, but he only attempted 17 passes, so who the hell knows? The Eagles came in with a good game plan, which was run the football against the league's worst rush defense. They did just that. Devontae Smith had a nice game. I thought Hurts played okay, but man, Justin Herbert, 32 of 38 for 356 yards, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. I am over Joe Lombardi capping this guy's ceiling. We need to hashtag free Herbert because this is an incredible game.
He got 38 times.
I don't mean you want to throw it more. I mean, I want deep shots. They think Herbert's incredible. I hate the fact that I ever doubted this guy and ever tried to be against him. He's fun to watch. He's amazing to watch.
Yeah, I
will say the Eagles defense and their defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, just give you like they gave Derek Carr 8-10 yard shot. So Herbert probably could have hit him with a deep ball all day long, but he was just taking what the defense was giving to him, and he was unstoppable.
And that's why he's going to be MVP, because he takes what he gives him. I was just
I don't hate
about,
that.
about Jalen Hurts.
Is it 20-1? I don't hate that bet.
Oh no, just that was my bold prediction in August. Justin Herbert and Breech yelled at me because there's no way the Chargers.
But you can get it for the same price right now at 20-1, and they're tied for first in the division.
Right? Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. I would say that Jalen Hurts frustrates me because teams continue to let him roll right and just run for 10 yards, and that's fine if he's your quarterback and he's moving the sticks. I don't know how sustainable it is. I would like to see him throw the ball sooner when he's relatively close to the pocket, but whatever, it is what it is. I think the funny thing you mentioned about the Chargers running the ball a ton, and I actually am interested to hear what Devo thought about Brandon Staley versus Nick Sirianni. But Rob Arciero, the producer in Stanford, noted, and rightly so, that of all the runs, like 99% of them were toss sweeps. Every single run was a toss sweep, and the Eagles either chose not to do anything about it or just sat back and had no answers for how to stop the toss sweep.
Yeah, I think it's clear who the rookie coach advantage belongs to in this matchup. But I don't know. The Jalen Hurts thing, I was pretty impressed. I couldn't ask for a ton more today just because I do feel like on the offensive side of things, the Eagles came in with the right game plan, ran the ball 39 times, passed the ball 17. Going in, I love that ratio just considering it's the Chargers defense. And Hurts, I mean, he converted 5 third downs on the ground today, all by rolling right.
Laid it out on that one third down where he went.
The somersault.
Yeah.
Connected with Devontae Smith. Missed a couple of throws, but I think this is the type of progress that I was looking to see. He's super effective on the ground, and I know it's kind of a joke at this point to see him rolling right. But I like.
Is that like a meme thing? Like the Trubisky can't throw left?
No, I mean, like Ryan said, it's just 98% of his rollouts are to the right. Today, early on, he rolled out left and connected with Dallas Goedert to the left, and people were shocked to see that because the game plan is to force him to his left, but he was able to make a move. I liked what I saw from him today. I don't have really any complaints on the offensive side of the ball. I feel like, I should come out of this game a little more angry. My only argument or something I would have liked to see is Hurts get the ball back and just kind of see him operate in a 2-minute offense, because we've seen him, Brinson, as you've noted, in garbage time a lot this year in the fourth quarter. We haven't really seen him in that really 2 minutes, go win you a game or tie a game. Would have just liked to see him get the ball back, but that was not afforded to him.
I will say every time they scored the Chargers, the Eagles answered. I mean, and it's just me being irrational about Jalen Hurts. He's gotten better. I think I'm more frustrated at defensive coordinators just watch them roll right and then watch them run for 11 yards.
And when they adjust to that, finally, whenever it happens, he'll have to adjust accordingly, and maybe that will happen, and maybe it won't for him. Still don't trust him throwing the deep ball, but he's getting better at that intermediate stuff. And Devontae Smith's looking like the stud that we thought he would be.
Finally, no JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
One crazy thing about this game, the Chargers did not punt in the first half. They didn't punt in the entire game, but they didn't punt in the first half, and they only scored 7 points.
That's kind of crazy.
They had a 98-yard drive that wasn't a scoring drive. The first time since 2002, I believe that happened. Started at the 1, ended at the 1.
Was it like 14? It was 14 plays. It was crazy. That's the thing with Lombardi. Again, like I'm not. This team is. Chargers look good. Herbert looked great today, but you got 15 plays, 98 yards. You got to get 6. You got to get some points. The Staley going for 4th thing is approaching the
absurd,
kind of hyper aggressive.
Every time I knew third down, I didn't get excited by any stops because I knew he was going for it on 4th down. You can't get excited too early.
Let me ask you this, Debo, as an Eagles fan.
What'd you want him to do on those 4th downs?
Yeah,
kick.
Yeah, there you go. So
trust me, I'm afraid of Justin Herbert, as I think every opponent should be. He is He missed one throw today that I can remember all day.
I think we talked about this, but there's a piece on 538 leading into that Ravens game for the Chargers, and they finally broke their loss streak where they lost 2 in a row. But they were crazy high in terms of their conversion rate on 3rd and 4th downs coming into the Ravens game. And it's only so long that's sustainable before it catches up to you. You can't live on 3rd and 4th downs. Now I think it's probably evened out at this point, and the Chargers are a very good football team.
Yeah, their defense, they've had some injuries. Their defense has been sort of sporadic, and I get that. But they got to. Every team's defense sucks, so the defense has to play better. But as long as Justin Herbert and Eckler and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Josh Palmer all doing their things, I mean that's a good start.
I'm trying to think. The team that would F them up would be
the Ravens,
Ravens or Titans with Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
like that.
Not the Bills. I right now
Bills can't run. Yeah, Bills can't run at all.
I would take the Chargers.
I would take the Chargers with the Bills too,
or the Patriots.
Pats would be a problem for them. Pats can run. Both teams beat them. Good call.
I only mentioned because they just lost to the Patriots.
For sure.
At least it wasn't 45-0.
Keenan Allen, monster game here. 12 catches, 104 yards.
13 targets, 12 catches.
Yeah, ridiculous. I mean, he had 6 incompletions. This is the thing. Justin Herbert was doing whatever he wanted in the passing game, and it felt like every chance they got, they tried to keep running Austin Eckler. It's like, stop running against the Eagles and just let Herbert cook, man.
You don't have to do this 50-50, and they didn't. I mean, I think it was 38 passes, 27 runs, but you don't have to. If the Eagles can't stop the pass, then just keep throwing the ball.
Right. You want to go for it on 4th down? Quit running the ball. Tell Lombardi to quit it.
Right. What do you think about JLC's report that your Steelers almost landed Fletcher Cox?
I saw that this morning before the 1 p.m. kickoffs, and I was like, oh, I would have loved that. Basically, an older version of Javon Hargrave, but whatever. I mean, they have so many people hurt on the defensive line. By the way, don't report it after the fact.
Cox and
Cam Hayward, because Steph Tuitt's not back. He's injured. He's battling injury, and his brother was tragically killed in a hit and run, I believe. So he's still recovering from that. So, and they had Tyson Alualu broke his ankle. He's out for the year, and I'd have loved it. I think they wanted
I will. I mean, like I back JLC 24/7. But if JLC hears something that's Steelers related, yeah, probably not.
No, I know. I just don't want to know about it after the fact when it doesn't happen. That's
for sure. Yeah,
that's like the Steelers were going to trade for Aaron Rodgers, but they decided not to. Just don't tell me.
The Bengals were going to win a Super Bowl, but then they lost to the Jets and Browns. I just don't tell you. I don't want to know.
Well, you already got the bad news.
Not the same thing, but sure. Devo, anything else you want to touch on with the Eagles here?
Oh yeah, what are their playoff chances, Devo? Where are you at on that?
I was gonna say they're buried down that standings chart right now.
Oh man, their schedule is juicy.
That's what I'm saying.
They're 13.
At Broncos, who are going to be coming off their Super Bowl.
I know it's a loss today.
At Giants, at Jets.
Giants have the same record.
I mean, would you back the Giants or the Eagles right now?
Giants coming off 2 solid weeks.
Jason Garrett versus Nick Sirianni. Who you got?
I mean, Spider-Man meme? I don't know.
Look, I'm just looking for improvement week by week. I saw that from Nick Sirianni. I saw it from Hurts. Their schedule
3-6.
Broken record at this point, but they're not going to get rid of the coach when he wins 7 or 8 games because of the schedule, so might as well just get on board. Disappointing to see a Dolphins win today, though.
Oh, right. For your draft pick purposes. I bet they go 2-2 in those games, and like one of the losses is going to be inexplicable and painful to either the Giants or the Jets. Then 3 or 4 at home. Cowboys could sit everybody in week 18, reverse situation from last year, right? Or like, right? Isn't that right? Where the Eagles screwed the Giants?
Cowboys might have the chance to get the first overall seed.
Maybe.
Yeah, Brinson, that's my thing when I say people are saying people in week 18. Don't steal my thing.
Yeah.
That's just a basic football thing. What are you talking about?
Oh, now you agree with it?
Breech says it all the time.
I just said it.
Disagree with it.
They have Washington at home, Giants at home, at Washington, Dallas at home to close out the season. This schedule is really soft.
All right.
Yeah, but they need to get through the next 2 weeks with the Broncos and the Saints.
What's the update? We need to get through the next 2 games so we can get out of here.
Well, let me ask Debo quickly. What's the update on the win total for the Eagles now?
I'm going to keep it. I've toggled between 7 and 8 all year. Say 7.
Does 7 doesn't get him in, does it, Breech?
No.
Oh, okay.
7 and 10.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that
Actually, maybe I have a
that
shot.
7 seed, 8, you're sniffing it. 8
Right.
wins, you're sniffing the 7 seed, I think.
Yeah.
there are a lot of bats. I mean, I think 8 wins.
I think
9
wins
gets you
we get
in.
7 seed. That's fair.
9, you're the first seed.
Which actually just sniffed the 7 seed apparently. It's cold now. It got cold everywhere. It's cold. I guess it's always cold for Wilson.
Yeah. What are you talking
It's been
about?
warm down here for months. Like I'm in hoodie season all of a
It
sudden.
was 28 degrees when I got in my car this
Oh
morning.
my Lord, man. Did you at least start it before you got in there?
No, I just sat there, let the frost do his thing.
Listen to a murder podcast.
Stab myself while it's freezing. What's
The
next?
Arizona Cardinals beat the 49ers. What are you typing in here, Breech, in our rundown? 31-17, a humiliating loss that I have to own. And again, every time I think about this effing 49ers team, all I could think about is that I wanted to be on the Rams and Breech got on them and I got off the Rams and got on the 49ers and now they suck and Kyle Shanahan is coaching like a jabroni and they won't just play trade. I don't have any words for it, honestly. They just lost to Colt McCoy 31-17. The corpse, the rotting touchdown, NFL touchdown leading corpse of James Conner caught like 900 receiving yards against them today alone, scored 42 touchdowns, and they got obliterated by a team that was missing Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and Chase Edmonds. What are you doing,
AJ
Kyle?
Watt.
An unlosable game.
You lost it.
I bet it with if they were plus. Oh, boy, holy vey. Sure, whatever. If you rip Kyle Shanahan.
And it wasn't even as close as that, was it, Breech?
Oh, it wasn't that close.
I'm just gonna sit over here and sip my little teacup. I'm the one. I said Shanahan should have been in the hot
screwed
seat
me. You
all
screwed
year.
me when you jumped on the Rams bandwagon. That's what screwed me. I hate
Tricked you.
Breech. You tricked me. Yeah.
I thought this was probably the worst loss. I mean, we can look at Jacksonville, Buffalo, and Dallas and Denver. I thought this was the worst loss today. I don't care if the Cardinals are 8-1. You're going up against freaking
But the
Colt
Bills is worse because you lost
McCoy
6-9 to the
career wins. There is no reason you should have lost to a team quarterback by Colt McCoy, who didn't even have his best receiver, as you mentioned. DeAndre Hopkins not there, and it was just disaster.
AJ Green didn't play either, by the way.
AJ Green was on the COVID list, didn't play. I mean, Arizona
Hey,
had
AJ Green's the argument. The rotting corpse of AJ Green is the argument. He wasn't even good the last time he played the Bengals, who lost to the Browns and gave up 40 points today.
I'm talking about the fact that Colt McCoy didn't have DeAndre Hopkins or AJ Green. So eventually you're knocking all the weapons down.
Oh, we missed!
The last refuge of a scoundrel.
Yeah. An absolute scoundrel. Look, go ahead, Breech. Sorry.
Jimmy Garoppolo got outplayed by Colt McCoy. And you have Kyle Shanahan after this game saying, we're not
ran the ball 11
we're
times.
not starting Trey Lance. We're not going to do it.
They ran the ball 11 times.
I will say this. Jimmy G had a terrible interception towards the end, but they were trying to push the ball down the field. Kittle had a terrible fumble.
Yep.
Yoke had a terrible fumble.
Everything okay, Debo?
Debo fell down.
Debo's dead. Press the button under the little necklace, Debo.
Medical alert. Are you okay, Debo?
I'm alive. I thought I was muted. I was. Never mind.
I was from over there.
mind.
I was concerned that he saw blood or something and he fainted, and then he's just laying there. We're making fun of him.
I mean, look, James Conner had 5 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown.
He's the MVP. What's his MVP odds?
No,
You guys
no,
on fire.
We're ripping Kyle Shanahan here. And so let me finish ripping Kyle Shanahan.
Go ahead.
Let me point out that the 49ers were trailing 31-7. 31-7. How many points is that? You guys do the math? 24.
He punted. Humiliating.
No. He's trailing by 24 points. That is 3 scores. That is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion that you need 3 times. And this is in the third quarter, so you don't have a lot of time to score. They score a touchdown to cut the lead 31-13. At that point,
extra point.
you go for 2. But no, Kyle Shanahan doesn't go for 2 like any other coach in the world would have done. From Pee-wee level football.
McCarthy might have gone for 2 there.
Mike McCarthy would have gone for 2. And so Shanahan kicks the extra point. So now you're still down 3 scores because you have to get 2 touchdowns and a field goal. At least if you get the 2, you mentally know you only need 2 scores. They didn't do it. So then, Brinson, now we're getting you were just talking about you're down 31-14. 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You have 4th and 13 from the Cardinals' 39-yard line. You do not punt in your opponent's territory when you are trailing 31-14. That is insanity, and certainly not inside your own opponent's 40-yard line.
I don't care if it's 4th and 23. You don't punt. You go for it.
If you're crazy enough, I don't know if Robbie Gould couldn't hit a 56-yard field goal, but you needed 3 scores at that point. If you get the field goal, it's 31-17, which you need anyway. So it's not like that's out of the realm of possibility. The only option you don't do is punt, and that's what Shanahan did. It was just his second half coach, the whole game, just every decision he made was mind-boggling.
Yeah, and the other thing too is the Brandon Ayuk stuff from earlier in the season. I don't know what Brandon Ayuk did to piss off Kyle Shanahan.
Looked pretty good.
But he looked awesome today. This is the Brandon Ayuk from last year. That needed to happen coming out of the gates. The Trey Sermon stuff, he's in the doghouse. I don't get it. I think that there is. I'm curious to see what happens over the next few weeks because the 49ers are now 3-5. They are still in the playoff race, and they could very well go to the playoffs.
Sweet.
Look, Brinson, you sound like you're in a cult. They're not going to playoffs.
That's it. Thank you.
Oh, he missed.
He's in a cult. That's all. That explains a lot. Okay.
I don't think they're going to the playoffs.
They keep saying it.
If you're,
I don't think a spaceship is coming to get us.
They're one game out of the 7th seed.
I see a path.
I see a
path. Sweet mercy alive! Stop it.
All I'm saying is that
no quarterback, no coach.
I think that the problem here,
no defense,
that could unfold if they keep losing, which we saw with Trip Baalke and Jim Harbaugh, and those two guys are a lot crazier than Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. We think. Is that there could be some infighting and blaming that starts getting slung around. And I'm curious to see how that plays out because a lot of the personnel moves in terms of acquisitions and like Trey Lance may end up being awesome. But the entire goal, as we understood it, was to get Trey Lance because you could win now because this roster was built to win now. And they ain't winning.
Mm-mm.
And a lot of it falls on the coach. As our buddy, is it Flyer 76? Is it Randy?
Yes, I'm Randy.
Randy, yes. Sorry, I didn't want to make sure I got it right.
Flyer 61.
Flyer 61. Brought up an old thread where he's like, "Can we revisit Brinson's top 5 coaching?" Like, obviously, you're not putting Kyle Shanahan in the top 5 right now. Now, does this scheme cook when he's
top
rolling?
10?
There we go. Randy's in here. Sorry, Randy. Randy Crenshaw. By
the way, one of my favorite roasts is roast Benson.
Roast Benson.
Something you get at the club.
Hey, all right. You know what? But enough about Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers.
Why?
Because freaking Cliff Kingsbury went out and won with Colt McCoy, James Conner, and Christian Kirk.
And joggers and shades. Nothing more disrespectful.
Joggers are incredible. Do you guys have joggers? They're incredible.
Yeah, it's all I wear. But I mean, I'm not a coach on the sidelines, and I don't wear shades as I go do the handshake in midfield like a clown.
Clown? He's incredibly handsome.
He's very. Kyle Shanahan's handsome as well, but Kyle Shanahan just got his brains beat in by this guy.
Yeah.
Like Doc Hollywood over there, and he has to face him and shake his hands.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, sorry, messed you up, Kyle. See you at the bar, man. I'm gonna have some Pinot at the house."
I don't know if he talks like that, but he seems like he would.
Nah, Cliff just happens to be a devastatingly handsome gentleman.
Are the Cardinals making the playoffs?
I think the Cardinals might make the playoffs.
All right, what's next?
8-1 for the Arizona Cardinals, and frankly, they should rest Kyler Murray for as long as necessary.
It depends. Do you want the first seed or not? Because Tampa Bay's coming.
I want and need Kyler Murray healthy going into the postseason.
It was an ankle, right? Today.
Yeah. He's got, but he also, I mean, he has several ailments. I feel like, I mean, I'm not saying sit him forever and cough up. You're 8-1. You're going to the playoffs. You can't accidentally miss the playoffs at this point. They have the Panthers and at the Seahawks before their bye.
Shout out to Edgardo Soto, who's listening, who's watching.
Here's your validation. The Cardinals are the best team in the NFL right now. They just mollywopped the 49ers.
Mollywopped them.
Who did not even with Colt McCoy as your quarterback. If you're winning games with
DeAndre
Colt
Hopkins, and they lost Chase Edmonds immediately in the game. And by the way, you know who's freaking awesome and needs more run is Eno Benjamin. Eno Benjamin Stan Club here.
By the way, Benjamin did to Dre Kirkpatrick. What Le'Veon Bell did to Dre Kirkpatrick when he steamrolled that poor fool.
Steamrolled.
My
What's the essay on?
Edgardo Soto.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I was
amazing.
curious what the essay's on. And maybe we could help. If it's on,
it's on how Kyle Shanahan's not a genius.
If it's on losing the Jets, the Breech has got you covered.
Oh, we missed.
Yeah, get you some quotes from the expert.
So
it's on how to win money against the spread. Brinson is not have you covered.
There it is.
I did very well on Saturday, though. But I control the dunk button, so.
All right, what's next, please?
Panthers and at Seahawks. I would guess Russ is back for that Week 11 game for the Cardinals. So, worst case.
Kyler.
What I mean, Russ for the Seahawks.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could
Kyler.
be Geno versus, that would be something Colt.
Geno versus Colt McCoy. Oh, my God.
Flex that the Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. Shoot in my veins. I think worst case, even if Kyler doesn't play the next 2 weeks, they go 1-1. Panthers are terrible. Cardinals.
Does it seem like Kyler might be out that long?
No. I'm saying if you.
Oh, I didn't know if they said something.
If you wanted to, you could sit Kyler for 2 weeks, get to the bye. You give him 3 weeks, then you're at Bears. You have to play the Rams again. Cowboys.
You still have the Lions on your schedule. You're good.
Yeah.
That gets you to 9. Then you just get to 10.
But I mean, you're thinking first seed. I'm just saying, be careful with Kyler because you can win a title with this team with Kyler.
They just won a game with Colt McCoy. They can win a title with anyone.
Correct. Exactly. All right. Next up. Oh, by the way, the Cardinals have not finished the season with the NFL's best record since
1985.
1948 Chicago Cardinals.
I was literally going to guess 1941.
Who went 11-1 and lost the NFL championship to the Eagles by a score of 7-0.
Oh, that's why Debo put that in there.
It's the first 8-1 start by the Cardinals since the 2014 season. That team went on to lose 4 of their next 7 games and finish 11-5.
Was that 7-0 score? Was that the first score got me 7-0 Breech?
Maybe.
In 1948.
7-0?
In 1948, maybe. Yeah. And since playoff seeding began in the 1975 season, the Cardinals have never been a number 1 seed.
Muy interesante.
Oh my gosh. 3 games left. Falcons 27, Saints 25.
3 games, my goodness.
Trust me, the last 2 we won't be spending a lot of time on.
Well, the Falcons tried to find a way to win this. Like I looked up and the Saints were winning by 1 on the final drive, and they had done nothing to that point. Mostly Trevor Siemian, then Taysom Hill got a little run. I saw the very first play of the Falcons, the Kyle Pitts drop, but other than that, I didn't see a whole bunch of it. But hey, it's a win for Arthur Smith.
I think the crazy thing is that the Falcons had a 24-6 lead in the fourth quarter, I believe.
Yeah, it was late.
And all I could think was, oh my God, after the Saints scored their first touchdown, cut it 24-13, I was like, oh my God, the Falcons are going to blow an 18-point lead in 8 minutes. And then I thought, you know what? The Braves just won the World Series. Everything's coming up Atlanta, because the one thing you never see is a Falcons collapse followed by the Falcons coming back to win after their collapse, which is what somehow happened here. They were literally winning this game 24-6 with 8 minutes left. And then the Saints, boom, 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 3 straight touchdowns, take a 25-24 lead. And in normal Atlanta times, that's it. It's game over. And then somehow Matt Ryan hits Cordero Patterson for a 64-yard gain to set up Younghoe Koo's game-winning field goal. I mean, this whole game was crazy because the Falcons' defense was so good. I mean, they stopped Trevor Siemian.
Nothing about this box score makes any sense at all.
It was just a crazy. I saw most of the fourth quarter. I didn't see a lot of the first half, but the end was crazy. The whole end, everything that happened in the fourth quarter was crazy.
I mean, not counting Matt Ryan rushing attempts, which, by the way, he bootlegged in for, or at least ran in for a touchdown at one point. 5 carries, 8 yards, 1 touchdown. They had 20 carries. And bear in mind, as Breech points out, they had a 20-plus point lead at one point. They had 20 carries for 26 yards.
18-point lead.
18-point lead, excuse me. Against a good rush defense. Their leading receiver, Cordero Patterson, 6 targets, 6 catches, 126 yards. Then Russell Gage, then Kyle Pitts, who up and down year, 23 of 30, 343 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Matt Ryan. Trevor Siemian was 25 of 41 for 249 and 2 touchdowns. Like, if you told me he threw for 249 and 2 touchdowns, I would assume the Saints rolled.
Mhm.
Alvin Kamara couldn't get anything going on the ground. Okay, in the pass game. Big win for the Falcons. I mean, look, somebody's getting in.
Somebody's getting in.
Some crap team's getting in the NFC, and it might be the Falcons. Matt Ryan's
might be
playing
the
good
Falcons.
football right now.
He's passed for 300 yards in 3 of the past 4 weeks.
He's playing good football. I don't think it's crazy that the Falcons sneak in as a wild card and upset somebody because Matt Ryan starts getting into this Arthur Smith system. It's starting to kind of work.
And they're like the Vikings, except they win. This is, I think, they have 3. They beat the Dolphins in Miami. They beat the Giants in New York, and all of those came down to game-winning field goals by Younghoe Koo. So they're doing something right. And you look at their schedule, though. They've got the Cowboys and Patriots coming up. So those are 2. A Super Bowl 51 rematch.
I don't think the Falcons are going to the Super Bowl. I do like how tired Wilson looks right now.
I mean, it is, in his defense, it is 2:49 on his body, a.m.
Mm-hmm.
We just lost an hour. Well, yeah, but you're young.
God damn.
Geez, yeah, that is indefensible.
I was trying to find this Hassan Reddick clip from after the Panthers game. Did you hear? And he wasn't critical, I think, when he actually heard it, but he was like, he comes in and he goes, listen, I don't play offense. I don't talk to the offensive coaches. I don't coach offense. I don't deal with anything on the offensive side of the football. So respectfully, I need you to not ask me about the offense. That's the state of the Carolina Panthers after their humiliating 24-6 loss to the New England Patriots. Sam Darnold, 16-33, 172 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 picks, and a miserable performance. Christian McCaffrey came back, but was not a big factor. The Patriots ran all over them. Ramondre Stevenson, 10 carries, 62 yards. Damian Harris had a touchdown, but was banged up. 15 carries, 30 yards. Brandon Bolden, 8 carries, 54 yards. There's almost no reason to talk about the Panthers. They are a miserable, terrible offense. They should not be in the playoff race. The coaching staff, Joe Brady, I cannot imagine somebody trying to hire Joe Brady as a head coach. I don't know. I don't think it's crazy to suggest that Matt Rule might get some great job and decides to bolt. David Tepper is a loose cannon. Shocked he didn't trade for Deshaun Watson. I think if the trade deadline was this Tuesday, he would. And I think the Patriots are right there in the AFC East, as we teased earlier, and are absolutely a playoff team and are playing well. They're sort of settling into this identity of early 2000s Patriots without Tom Brady as clutch game manager.
Yeah, I think that's right. Joe Brady, look, I don't watch the Panthers as closely as you do. It's hard to coordinate an offense when you don't have a quarterback. And your theory about possibly Christian McCaffrey being the difference between Sam Darnold being good or not,
he gone.
Not so much. So yeah, it's almost insane to think that someone gave a second round pick for Sam Darnold. Now knowing that, again, I already said my big loser, my big winner this week, Adam Gase. Again, confirmation that he wasn't the sole problem with Sam Darnold. It was just bad scouting, and the Jets weren't the only team, but the people that thought he was a first round pick.
The one thing I'll say about the Patriots is that it feels like they might be better than anyone thinks. I mean, we're talking about a team that's 5-4. They lost, I think, kind of a fluky game in week 1 to the Dolphins because they had a turnover late in the fourth quarter. They were driving down, score a touchdown. They end up losing by 1 point. They lost the crazy game to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers when Nick Folk's field goal hit the upright from 56 or 58 yards or whatever that was. They lost in overtime to the Cowboys. So we're talking about a team that could very easily be 8-1 if a few bounces had gone their way. And they're
smoking bad teams too.
Yeah. So I feel like they're the sneaky good team. Mac Jones plays he had a couple turnovers in this game, but otherwise he had a solid second half. But the defense was so good and their ground game works. And that's how Belichick wants to win right now. Hey, Mac, we just need you to complete a couple passes here and there and be efficient, and we'll win games. And that's what they're doing.
I don't think they win the division, but I do think they make the playoffs.
I would not want to face the Patriots in the playoffs.
Division. What's that?
I would not want to face the Patriots in the playoffs if I'm any team.
Right.
By the way, shout out to Bill Belichick's pregame outfit. Did you see that thing?
Was that pregame or postgame?
No, I saw it before the game.
He looked like somebody's aunt.
He was before. I saw the one where he's wearing.
And just you can't even use the phrase. It was an homage to Bill Parcells. Is what it was. Just
But what it was, the sweatshirt actually was blue, and then it looked like he had pulled his pants up that high. The sweatshirt,
is that right?
There's a line going through the sweatshirt halfway. So it looked like he jacked his britches up.
I thought he jammed his sweatshirt in the pants.
No,
and it was like doing the Parcells where you're not sure where upper and lower.
There it is. So if you're watching on YouTube,
wait. So what is?
So just below the Patriots, about 6 inches below the Patriots lettering, that's a blue stripe on the sweatshirt that looks like his britches are pulled all the way up, just under his chest.
I saw it was like, why would this man walk around like this? Like even I would. Oh, now I see where the sweatshirt and the.
He just does not care. It's awesome. It is absolutely.
He looks like a grandmother.
And he has his sweatpants pulled up, so like he's like Nelly, whoever did it, or LL Cool J, one leg up, one leg
dragging that suitcase. It's
he's dragging the suitcase, right? Yeah. Like if you saw this guy walking down the street downtown of any city, you go, "Oh, that guy's homeless. Let me throw him a couple quarters."
You're not homeless. You're like, that's my crazy Uncle Jim who's
worth $100 million.
Yeah. Oh my God, incredible. Okay, I see what you're saying now about the lower cut. Go look for it. You can see it on YouTube. Again, hit the like button. We got one. Anything else on this game? I don't want to talk about the Panthers. Panthers are terrible. And they gave away a second round pick that's going to be a top 5 pick for Sam Darnold. Big mistake. Somehow that's not the worst game of the week. Dolphins 17, Texans 9. Texans are the 12th team in NFL history to start 1-0 and lose their next 8 games. The first team to do so since
the Bengals.
Jacksonville.
Dang it.
Jacksonville last year.
I remember.
Every interest the Bengals.
The Texans have been held to 9 points or less 5 times this season.
5.
Yikes.
That is wild.
And don't blame Davis Mills.
Tyrod Taylor was terrible in this game.
The ghost of Davis Mills took over Tyrod Taylor's body.
3 picks. He hadn't thrown I think it was our research team, and they do a great job, so I'm not knocking them. They were like, Tyrod Taylor had not thrown an interception yet this season. It's like, wow.
Played for 15
one
minutes.
game or whatever. Taylor finished 24-43, 240 pass attempts, 240 yards, felt like 240 pass attempts, and 3 interceptions. Danny Amendola 0 for 1. I mean, the Texans are an abject disaster. The Dolphins, frankly, aren't much better.
I quit counting, but at one point there were 8 turnovers in this game. I was so frustrated because I needed the Dolphins to cover, which they somehow
most turnovers in the game since 2016 by the 2 teams combined.
Was 8 the final tally?
8 or 9. 9 was the final tally.
Are you kidding me? I mean, Jacoby Brissett wasn't any prize either. And I think for me the biggest takeaway is I was talking to John Jones about this, our NFL insider, who I see on Sundays. I said, "Is Brian Flores?" Yeah, I said, "Is Brian Flores still in the hot seat?" He said, "The Dolphins have won 2 games. What do you think?" Fair enough. So yeah, maybe.
And they're giving the draft pick to the Philadelphia Eagles, which brings us to the tankathon portion of the program, in which Devo demands that we talk about the race for the number 1 pick, mostly so he can show and talk about where the Eagles have their selections. If you had to, you look at the Lions and the Texans have both lost 8 straight games. If you were putting your roulette money on a team to have the number 1 overall pick, who are you taking here?
I like to be on the Dan Kimmel bandwagon, but that I don't know if the message is getting through. And since the Houston has them 1 up in the win column, I don't know what the math is if Detroit happens to win a game and they both finish 1-6.
Yeah, don't worry about that right now. Well, look, the strength of schedule, the Texans would, if the Lions won next week,
there you go,
and the Texans lost, the Texans would flip to number 1 overall.
I'm going to go with the Texans. I think there's a chance that Detroit can win. The Texans, they have 0.8 players on that team that are NFL caliber.
Texans.
I'm going to go with the Lions. I think once Tyrod Taylor gets his act together, they have a bye week. He's going to have another full time to heal.
What if they fall to 1-9 on the bye?
I mean, it's possible. They could lose the bye. But I mean, when he practiced all through August, led the team to a win in Jacksonville, was playing well in Cleveland until he got knocked out of the game right before halftime. So I don't think we'll see him throw 3 interceptions in a game the rest of the season. I bet they get at least 1 more win.
Devo, is there a sneaky?
They play the Jets and Jacksonville.
Galaxy brain take where you have the Dolphins finishing first overall?
I don't think it's likely, but I don't think it's impossible.
Ravens, Jets. They got the Ravens. They have the Jets and the Panthers and the Giants in the next 4 weeks.
Have you seen the Dolphins?
Have you seen the Panthers and the Jets and the Giants?
Right. So Miami, yeah. So
twice.
Miami gets to 3-14 or 4-13. So yeah, we're not going to see that number one pick.
Yeah, but I don't know that number one matters as much in this draft as it might like in a different year. Just because, I mean, what are we talking? Kenny Pickett? Like, I don't know who. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody who will be number one overall that people have interest in quarterback wise, but
right.
You just say Kenny Pickett, Ryan?
I said Kenny Pickett.
He said Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, that's what I'm. He just said Kenny Pickett, number one.
I mean, you're not taking Kenny Pickett one, right?
No, when were you going to take him?
I'm just saying there's no one that obviously there's no Trevor Lawrence. I don't think there's even a Goff or a Wentz that you're trading up to number one for. No. So like having number one is you'd rather have one than three if you're the Eagles, but if you're three, you're going to get a good player.
I mean, trust me, I'd love Kayvon Thibodeau, but yeah,
that's who you're taking.
Sure.
Sure. Hutchinson.
Right. But I mean, like you're not missing out on a franchise altering quarterback at one because the Dolphins beat the Jets twice.
No,
correct.
But in case you never know, if some crazy team wants to trade up for someone they fall in love with. But yeah.
I would say that I would bet on Houston right now. I think
so too.
Yeah. Watch Ryan's mock draft show every Tuesday, 1:00 Eastern, live on this channel right here.
YouTube exclusive, baby.
Some saucy picks coming this week.
All right, let's wrap up this incredibly long podcast
with rapid fire winners losers.
Yeah, go fast. Wilson, you're voted most likely to leave early if you get tired of this.
Yeah, I've already. Yeah, no, I'm not. I won't do Adam Gase's winner. My winner's Josh Allen, Jaguars version of Josh Allen. Had a sack, Breech. Had an interception, Breech. Had a fumble recovery, Breech. Going with Josh Allen.
So you're taking the guy who out Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen?
Yes.
I like it. Maybe that should be my loser of the week. Should be Josh Allen to make this more symmetrical. My winner of the week is the Broncos defense. They traded away Von Miller, and then they immediately proceeded to play their best game of the season by absolutely shutting down the Cowboys. What a slap in the face to Von Miller. But what a great day for the Broncos to pull that off.
Very tempted to cut Breech off of the pass here and name the Browns a winner. But instead, I know Wilson's up before him on losers. I will say that Mike Vrabel, Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill, huge winners. Sunday Night Football, touchdown dogs, go into LA against a team that's rolling in the Rams and come away with a win. And you feel like you've beaten the Bills, Chiefs, Colts, and Rams in the last 4 weeks. You may have lost Derrick Henry and the big dog may be gone for a while, but you have to have the confidence that you can beat anybody in the NFL. And their defense is playing well, and the team, Ryan Tannehill's kind of cooking. Man, huge win for them on Sunday Night Football. Titans are a clear winner. Wilson, who's a loser?
Your Minnesota Vikings. If you won that game, I'm pretty sure you would have been in the 7th seed based on strength of schedule, maybe some other tiebreakers, but currently the Falcons sit there. And you just find new and exciting ways to lose games that you have no business losing. And at this point, it's expected. And keep doing what you're doing. See how that works out for you.
The Vikings is a good one. I was worried you were going to steal mine.
Bengals?
Mine is not the Bengals.
Oh.
That was Brinson's loser last week because I didn't pick them. No, my loser is Kyle Shanahan. That is 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan. I think today is the day we need to officially stop calling him a genius, because a genius does not lose to a quarterback who only has 8 career wins and a team that was losing their starting receiver, Colt McCoy, AJ Green out, DeAndre Hopkins out. I don't know what happened, but it ended with Kyle Shanahan losing to the Cardinals backups, and they got smoked, and he doesn't know when to go for 2, and he doesn't know when he shouldn't punt. That's my loser.
My loser, the Cincinnati Bengals. Why?
Second week in a row.
Oh, he missed! He missed! Oh, and he may have pulled a hamstring or a muscle, and there is complete elation.
Elation indeed.
See you guys on Monday.